is that there are disagreement in the contract over event expenses and basically transparency related to those expenses. Terrence Crawford agreed to take the short end of the split and work off of no guarantee, and he wants to be able to just have some transparency there related to it, since he's going to be working off of the net revenue. And so far, they have been unable to clear this up. It feels like Al Heyman is holding up the deal right now. He advises Spence. Spence wants it. Crawford wants it. And for Crawford to agree to work off of just a purse split shows you how badly he wants this, in my opinion.
Hold on a second. You mean to tell me, because anyone who follows the way, Hollywood or anything, there's no such thing as the net. It's all the growth. I mean, certainly if you don't have oversight of the books, right, approving expenses, or certainly at least knowing where all the money's going, no one would ever agree to a net. The fact that Crawford's, you work off the gross. But if you're working off the net, then certainly if what you're reporting is accurate, then Crawford would be out of his mind not to insist on that. And you're telling me that that's what's holding it up, that Al Heyman, who's advising Errol Spence, is not giving Terrence Crawford oversight over expenses or giving him transparency to the books, of the books. He's not letting him take a look at the books. And that's why Crawford won't sign? Because that sounds to me, Mike, like a duck. That sounds like Al Heyman doesn't think that his guy is going to win and is ducking Terrence Crawford, ducking Terrence Crawford, ducking Terrence Crawford, ducking Terrence Crawford.
So what do I do, YouTube? It's your boy King David in this thing, and I'm back at y'all again with another video.
That bitch ass motherfucker.
Okay, so before we get going on a video, man, y'all know what to do. Go ahead, hit the like button, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe one time for your boy, so we can continue to grow like we need to grow on this channel. You know what I mean?
You won the belt with nobody.
Alright, so cool, man. Y'all see what the title of the video is? Has the duck been certified? Is the duck official? Is the duck official? Because a damn show looks like the duck is official. It damn show look like the duck got a stamp of approval on it, right? It damn show looked to me like Errol Spence Jr. has successfully ducked the shit out of Terrence Bud Crawford.
He's an email chat. He's fighting because somebody mailed him the belt.
So let's start from the beginning, man. I mean, let's start from the very beginning, because y'all saw the interview. Y'all saw the interview. According to the interview by Max Kellerman, according to the reports by Mike Coppinger, right? Which I may add is the same Mike Coppinger that reports a lot of the numbers that PBC drops, right? A lot of these pay-per-view numbers that a lot of Errol Spence fans like to live and die by. Mike Coppinger is one of the guys who reports them. So according to Mike Coppinger, right, or like they like to say, Mike Cappinger, when the narrative doesn't suit their agenda, according to Mike Cappinger, according to Bernie the Boxer, according to Blue Blood Sports TV, who's a known Errol Spence fan, Terrence Bud Crawford has accepted all demands and all conditions in all terms from Errol Spence Jr.
I know
right?
that.
And I say Errol Spence Jr. because I know a lot of dudes like to put the blame on PBC. They like to say PBC Al Heyman, right? That's what a lot of these niggas like saying, right? They like putting the blame on PBC. But at the end of the day, doesn't the PBC and Al Heyman work for Errol Spence Jr.? Isn't Errol Spence Jr. his own boss, according to his own words, and also according to the words of Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder when he says
Al don't hold back his fighters on things. He may give his suggestion on this and that or whatever, but what pretty much who we want, we gonna get. So
I'm really not trying to hear shit about PBC and Al Heyman being a hurdle or a burden when it comes to these negotiations, because at the end of the day, they work for Errol Spence Jr. Right?
Oh, look at this guy.
They work for Errol Spence Jr. So I'm not trying to hear that shit. I mean, it ain't my fault that Errol Spence signed to the wrong promoter, right? Ain't that what a lot of you niggas said about Bud Crawford when he was on Top Rank, that he was with the wrong promoter? You know what I'm saying? It ain't my fault that Errol Spence signed to the wrong promoter. That's his ass, right?
You won the belt with nobody.
Nevertheless, I digress.
Spence knows he can't beat Crawford.
Bitch ass motherfucker.
There are three major takeaways that I get from this article and from both Max Kellerman and Mike Coppinger just now, right? There's three major takeaways that I get from them, right? Takeaway number one, I think this is the final straw. I think this is the final straw for Bud Crawford. I think he's just about ready to throw in the towel on this fight. I think Bud Crawford is just about ready to throw in the towel on this fight. Every single report that we get is more and more absurd. The demand is more and more ridiculous.
Bet you don't get it. Bet you don't get it. I hope you don't get it.
Bitch ass motherfucker.
Every single report that we get, every single concession that we hear about Bud Crawford taking, it gets more and more ridiculous, right? I think this is the final one. I think this is it. Y'all need to fully understand how ridiculous it would be for Bud Crawford to take this, right? In addition to the no guarantee, in addition to the 35%, in addition to the rematch clause with the B-side in the rematch. Y'all need to fully understand how ridiculous this offer is, right? For Bud Crawford to have no transparency on the books. Essentially, he's taking PBC's word for it on how much he's to get paid.
Who mans is this? Get him the fuck
based
out of
on
here.
the revenue. But wait a minute, there's a huge contradiction there, right? Because if I'm getting paid based on the revenue, then I should know what the revenue is, right? And then if you're telling me that you're gonna pay me a certain amount, then that's what guaranteed money is. But Terrence Bud Crawford's not getting that. Terrence Bud Crawford's not getting guaranteed money. He's getting money based on the revenue. But not just the revenue, y'all. The net revenue, meaning minus the overhead expenses.
Jesus Christ.
Now, what could overhead expenses be? Overhead expenses could be anything as dumb as a dinner for Errol Spence on a Saturday night between Errol Spence and Al Heyman, right?
Oh, look at this guy.
Those could be expenses. Expenses could be movie tickets, right? For all the participants after the event, right?
You won the belt with nobody. Bitch ass motherfucker.
The expenses could be something as trivial as bumper stickers for the people who attended the event. That's how trivial the expenses could be. So you mean to tell me that not only does Bud Crawford have to take a 35% split, not only does he have to have no guarantee, not only does he get a rematch clause where even if he wins, he still stays the B-side, but now he has to take your word for it on how much the revenue is and has no say over what's spent as far as the overhead expenses that he's supposedly supposed to be getting paid off.
Who mans is this? Get him the fuck out of here.
I think this is it, y'all. Ain't nobody taking that shit. Ain't nobody in their right mind taking that shit. Right? It's absolutely ridiculous for anybody to even be subjected to that kind of bullshit. Yet and still, here we are. Yet and still, here we are, y'all. So I think this is the final straw. So that's my first takeaway. Right?
Spence knows he can't beat Crawford.
My second takeaway is
that there are disagreement in the contract.
the world is finally starting to see how cowardly Errol Spence Jr. is. I think the world is finally starting to see how much of a duck Errol Spence Jr. is. How much Errol Spence don't want to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. For Max Kellerman to go on national TV, and call Errol Spence a duck.
That sounds like Al Heyman doesn't think that his guy is going to win and is ducking Terrence Crawford.
The fact of the matter is, people who were Errol Spence fans are finally starting to see Errol Spence for truly who he is, which is a coward. Which is a nigga that don't want no smoke with a Terrence Bud Crawford. Not because he's scared of Terrence Bud Crawford's shadow, right? He don't want no smoke with Terrence Bud Crawford because he's worried about what Bud Crawford would do to his career. He's worried about what Bud Crawford would do to his brand. He's worried about what a loss to Bud Crawford would do to his ability to generate money for his family. And that's an understandable fear.
Spence knows he can't beat Crawford.
Nevertheless, it don't take away the fact that Errol Spence Jr. is scared to death of a Terrence Bud Crawford, and the world is finally seeing this situation for what it is, right? So that's my second takeaway.
Spence knows he can't beat Crawford.
Because that sounds to me, Mike, like a duck.
Bitch ass motherfucker.
And then my third takeaway from this is, this fight definitely ain't happening this year. It definitely ain't happening this year. Not at all. Right? Because if we're still talking about things like this in October for a fight that's supposed to be in November, I think it's safe to say that there's just not enough time in the day. I think it's safe to say that there's not enough time in the day to make this fight happen in 2022, and it may happen in 2023. You know what I mean? Or not at all, because honestly and truly, the farther that this fight is pushed back, the less likely it is to happen. And if I'm Terrence Bud Crawford, I've been out of the ring almost a year now. Coming in November, last time he was in the ring with a Showtime Sean Porter. It's time to get active. It's time to get in the ring with somebody, even if it ain't a Errol Spence Jr.
I know that.
You can't sit there and stall and hold up your career for a fight that may or may not happen. For a fighter that clearly don't want to fight based on his history of not wanting to fight.
Spence knows he can't beat Crawford.
Terrence Bud Crawford need to do something. And Errol Spence Jr. on his side has mandatory obligations. How long is Igis Stanionis supposed to wait? How long is Jerron Boots Ennis supposed to wait? How long is Keith One-Time Thurman supposed to wait? Right? They all supposed to sit down and wait while Errol Spence Jr. plays duck games in the negotiation table?
That sounds like Al Heyman doesn't think that his guy is going to win and is ducking Terrence Crawford.
I'm in the mindset right now that based on this interview, based on what's happening right now, that the fight ain't happening at very least this year. You know what I mean? But those are my takeaways, man. Let me know what y'all think, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think. Hit it up in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button. But until next time, man, I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace.
Mike, Spence and Crawford are fighting. Who wins?
Who's the king of the welter this evening? I think after seeing their fight, Porter and Crawford, I think you've got to lean towards Crawford now.
With Spence and Crawford.
Thank you, Bert.
Yeah.
Everybody know who won that fight. He think Errol Spence. Errol Spence, he'll be looking young and not up more than 6 rounds.
Crawford's a bad boy, but Spence is a pressure cooker, so if he can maintain with Crawford early, then he can make a good fight. But if he ain't on his game, it might be right.
Crawford reminds me of me, bro. So I'm pretty sure you know how I feel about that. Ain't nobody else gonna say that, but I'ma say it. The way he approached that shit, he don't see none of them guys. He don't care nothing about none of them guys.
Got him!
Yeah. What they do, everybody? What they do? Yeah. It's your boy King David in this thing, man. What to do, man? What to do, man? Hey, ones in the chat if you can hear me good, man. Ones in the chat if you can hear me good, man. I be famously having sound issues. Ones in the chat if you can hear me good, man. What to do, man? What to do, everybody, man? It's your boy King David in this thing. Salute to all the real boxing fans. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, and everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button one time for your boy. Y'all know what time it is. You know what I mean? Y'all know what time it is. Okay, I got a few ones in the chat. Salute to everybody that's in the building, man. Okay, I see we got quite a few individuals in the building. My guy Modern King Boxing in the building. Salute to you, fam. My guy Soul Archin in the building. Okay, salute to you, my guy. My guy Tyrese Bowie in the building. Salute to you, fam. You know what I mean? Who else we got up in here? LB in the building. Salute to you, my guy. My guy, Don Vaughn in the motherfucking building. Salute to you, Don Vaughn. Who else we got up in here? My guy, Air Softener and Chef in the building. You know what I'm saying? Well, a guy that I expect to hop on the panel a little bit later on. And also my guy, Duddy Left, also in the building. Salute for everybody for coming in the building, man. We're going to be talking some good boxing today. We got a good show ahead of you today. And if you're an Errol Spence fan, you're probably going to be a little perturbed at your boy. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. It is what it is. It's all love, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. Let me see if I can go through some of these comments real quick, man. I'm going to go through about half of them, and then I'm going to go to the poll. So my guy, Duddy Left, he says, I think the pressure has made Errol need the fight, but PBC are still ducking. You know what I'm saying? We don't use PBC over here, man, because at the end of the day, the PBC work for Errol Spence Jr. The PBC and Al Heyman, they work for Errol Spence Jr., so we don't talk about the PBC over here. At the end of the day, the PBC is Errol Spence. Errol Spence is the PBC. Therefore, they are one. Therefore, it is Errol Spence Jr., the one that is ducking. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It is Errol Spence, the one that is ducking at the end of the day. Nobody had that same kind of energy when Bud Crawford was with Top Rank, right? They was telling Bud Crawford he shouldn't have signed with Top Rank, right? Well, guess what? Errol Spence shouldn't have signed with the PBC. So I don't want to hear nothing about no PBC over here, but salute to my guy, Duddy Left in the building. My guy, Air Softener and Chef says, Errol can fire PBC, call BLK, get a 50-50 huge bag from BLK, done deal, waiting for Errol to move to BLK of pressure of PBC. Well, hopefully something like that happens and we get to see the fight, you know what I mean? But I don't know. Al Heyman got them dudes. He got them dudes. You know, it ain't too many people that leave PBC and Al Heyman. So I don't know. I mean, I'm hopefully something like that can happen. If Errol Spence really want to fight, then he should leave PBC, right? Right, Air Softener and Chef? Errol Spence should leave PBC if he really wants to fight with a Bud Crawford, right? He on the wrong side of the street, right? Errol Spence is on the wrong side of the street. So if he really wants to fight with a Terrence Bud Crawford, he should cross the street and make the fight happen. Right here, Softener and Chef, I totally agree with you, fam. Modern King Boxing say, damn, I hit the wrong button. It's a duck. Salute to you, fam. It happens to the best of us, my guy. Modern King Boxing say, talk to him, Boxer Die. Oh, you know I'm going to do that. You already know I'm going to do that. Salute to my guy, Modern King Boxing. He say, let's go. Yeah, we in the building. Don Vaughn, salute, Don Vaughn. Modern King says, support black excellence. You know what I'm saying? Boxing, yes, sir. Salute to the black excellence. Yes, sir. Love that. Love that. My guy LB says, Bud is going to beat the curry goat and jerk chicken out of Spence. If he can ever get him in the ring, I totally agree with you, man. But you know, that dude Errol Spence running that Usain Bolt speed right there, bro. So he got to catch him first. You know what I mean? He a really good runner. Modern King Boxing says, shared already. Salute to your fam. Cooking. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to go to the poll real quick, and then I'm going to come back to the comments, and then we're going to cook on what we need to cook on. So let me go ahead and go to the poll real quick. And I got a poll out here, and the poll says, do you think that Errol is still ducking Terrence Crawford? I got 92% of everybody right now that says yes, and I got 8% of everybody right now that says no. Absolutely, man. Y'all on the same page. Y'all rock with your boy King David, man. At the end of the day, Errol Spence Jr. was and is still ducking the shit out of a Terrence Bud Crawford. But let's keep it going on these comments real quick, man. Appreciate y'all for voting. You know what I mean? Modern King Boxing says, oh, they got my boy King David. Yeah, man. Yeah, they got me. Yeah, I cut out for a little bit, man. Maybe they didn't like everything that was being said on the video and they got me. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it is what it is. We back. Okay, no audio. Okay, my guy WJ Luckett also in the building. Salute to you, WJ. Yeah, man. Appreciate you for sliding on through, man. We're going to have a good show for you that day. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a good show for you today. Modern King Boxing says the PBC is done. It's certainly looking like that, man. It's certainly looking like the PBC is donezo. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Modern King Boxing says after the video turn up, but big say so. Okay, got a link in there. We got Black Excellence Support Boxing Fans. Okay, salute, man. Yeah. Y'all be sure to go ahead, pull up on that channel, man, and support, bro. Yeah, we support our own over here. That's what we do. WJ, okay, y'all talking. Peace to the family. Okay, let's keep it going. We talk today. Fire. Okay, yeah, man. Let me see what else going on out here. Let me see what y'all talking about. Share it on Instagram. Salute to you guys. Okay, my guy, Diallo Hughie in the building. I don't know if I'm saying that right, fam. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'll be mispronouncing the shit out of people's names. But salute to you, my guy, for coming on through. He said salute. Modern King Boxing says, if you enjoy boxing talk, share on all social media. Yes, do what my guy Modern King Boxing is say. Share to all your social media platforms, your Facebook, your Instagram, all that good stuff. And of course, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, be sure to hit that like button one time for your boy. One time for your boy. Don Vaughn says, Tank put them on blast. PBC. Yeah, man. They getting put on blast from a lot of people out here, man. They were getting put on blast from a lot of people on here. Air Softener Chef says, Axe Bud left top rank. Yeah, man. Absolutely, man. Errol Spence is on the wrong side of the street. It sounds like Errol Spence need to cross the street if he really want to fight with a Terrence Bud Crawford. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. That was the narrative for years when it came to Bud Crawford, that he didn't want to fight because he was with Top Rank. Well, guess what? Bud crossed the street. He went over to the PBC side. PBC couldn't get the job done after a year of negotiating. So guess what? Errol Spence now, if he wants to fight with a Terrence Bud Crawford, he need to cross the street and make the fight with a Terrence Bud Crawford if he really wants to fight, right? But we're hearing a completely different story from Errol Spence Jr., and we're going to get into it. But let's keep it going. So Archie said, that's a new excuse I've been hearing. It's not Spence. PBC is playing both guys. That's the dumbest excuse yet. Yeah, man, I've been hearing that shit too, bro, and I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear nothing about PBC and the reason why the fight can't happen or whatever the case is. No, I don't want to hear none of that shit, bro. At the end of the day, PBC works for Errol Spence Jr. Point blank, period, end of discussion. So if the fight ain't happening, it's because of Errol Spence Jr., right? It's because of Errol Spence Jr. Modern King Boxing says Wakanda was shaking like booty meat today. Oh, yeah. I hear you. Yeah, man. My guy Modern King, appreciate it, King David. Yeah, man. WJ Luck. Okay, y'all talking. Okay, cool. I think I done got through enough comments, man. I done got all the way to the bottom. I'm doing pretty well for myself when it comes to the comment section. So let's go on and get into the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about here today. And the topic of the conversation is Errol's a duck. Ain't shit changed. ain't shit changed, man. Errol a duck, man. Ain't shit changed, you know. And I know a lot of what's being pushed out there in the boxing streets differs from what it is that I'm saying, but the real boxing fans know the truth. Errol a duck. Ain't shit changed. You know what I mean? The fact of the matter is, after 4 years of easy route, size of the street, get a belt, 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, and then an entire calendar year of physically waiting on Errol Spence Jr. to fight while being completely and utterly disrespected at the negotiation table, which I may add, the final straw being the no transparency. If you listen to the video that I was playing a little early on, I was talking about how the no transparency was the final straw, right? Which that video, if you go back, I actually posted that video maybe about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, right? Prior to this particular thing happening with Bud Crawford deciding to move on and fight David Avanesian on the BLK app, right? But in any case, I digress, right? So what all that said, the final straw being the transparency, like I said, like I predicted in the video I played earlier, like I said, Terrence Crawford finally decides to move on with his career, right? He finally decides to move on with his career, which is what anybody who had any sense. Like I told y'all before, if I was Terrence Bud Crawford, after Errol Spence told me he wanted to take the easy route, that would have been it for me. I would have moved on with my career, right? But Terrence Bud Crawford, he decided to stick around and chase this nigga, right? Like Tom and Jerry, right? And he finally decides to move on, right? He moves on to another fight after a year waiting on Errol Spence Jr., right? And then after the announcement, right, in a pathetic attempt to change the narrative, Errol Spence fans have the nerve, the unmitigated gall to say that Bud Crawford is ducking Errol Spence Jr., right? After this nigga done chased Errol Spence for about 5 years altogether, right? 4 years of easy route, side of the street, 60-40, 70-30, right? And an entire year of just sitting on his ass waiting on an Errol Spence Jr. while being disrespected at the negotiation table, right? With a no guarantee, right? With the 65-35 split, right? With the B-side on a rematch, even if he wins, after a year of that, right? A year of those things happening at the negotiation table, Bud Crawford decides to move on, and these niggas want to say that Bud Crawford is ducking Errol Spence. You niggas bro, I ain't even got no words for you niggas out here on these boxing streets, bro. Y'all funny as hell. But the thing about it is the narrative that these niggas are pushing, it can easily be debunked. The dumb shit that they're saying can be debunked with 3 points. At the end of the day, it's like this, right? Y'all niggas want to say that Bud Crawford is ducking Errol Spence Jr., but there's 3 points that completely floor that argument, right? Floyd already said that the fight ain't happening, right? He said that prior to Bud Crawford announcing his fight with David Avanesian, right? He said that the fight wasn't happening, so that's the first point, because why is it that Floyd, after everything that Bud Crawford did in order to make the fight happen, is still saying that the fight ain't happening? I mean, that's a red flag right there, right? That's a red flag right there, right? Point number 2, there's no way that a fight this year can affect a fight that's supposed to happen for next year, right? Because it was scheduled that it was rumored that the fight was supposed to happen in November of this year, but considering it's October, right? these dudes ain't going to be able to make a fight happen for November or even for that matter, December of this year. So it's pretty known knowledge that the fight would happen after February, right? So I'm just trying to figure out, how does a fight this year affect a fight that's supposed to happen next year, right? That easily debunks a lot of what these niggas is talking about out here on these boxing streets. But then the third point is, how are you going to say that a Terrence Bud Crawford would be ducking Errol Spence Jr. when the nigga has done, he's made all the sacrifices, he's made all the concessions in order to ensure that the fight gets done? How in the hell could you have the nerve to make a statement like Bud Crawford is ducking Errol Spence when this nigga has done everything to make the fight done? It's one question that a lot of Errol Spence fans can't never answer every time I ask him this question. What has Errol Spence done in order to make the fight happen? I wait. What has Errol Spence done in order to make the fight happen with a Terrence Bud Crawford? Right? This dude has literally done nothing. When these negotiations were dragging on for an entire year, that would have been an opportune moment for Errol Spence to get involved and call his daddy Al Heyman and make sure that things were going smoothly to ensure that the fight was going to happen, right? But instead of doing that, we didn't hear anything from Errol Spence. There was no intervention from Errol Spence in order to get the fight done. Absolutely nothing on behalf of Errol Spence in order to ensure that the fight would happen. But on the other hand, Terrence Bud Crawford, he's the one that crossed the street. He's the one that got the belt. He's the one that took the ridiculous lowball deal in order to make the fight happen. So you niggas really got to miss me when it comes to that bullshit, right? But let's keep it on going there, right? Because the fact of the matter is, it's painfully obvious what these fanboys are trying to do, right? We know these niggas are trying to push this narrative. Also, they can take attention away from the fact that Errol Spence Jr. is ducking the shit out of a Terrence Bud Crawford. We know what they doing. You know what I'm saying? We know exactly what they doing. Ain't shit changed. Ain't shit changed over here. And again, ain't no Al Heyman, PBC, ain't none of that shit over here, because the PBC and Al Heyman works for Errol Spence Jr. at the end of the day, right? And them niggas weren't nice to Bud Crawford when he was signed to Top Rank. They was calling him Top Rank Toby. They was saying that Bud Crawford is a bad businessman for re-signing with Top Rank. Well, guess what? Who's the bad businessman now, right? Who's the bad businessman now? Because guess what? Terrence Bud Crawford got the bag with this BLK Prime, right? Terrence Bud Crawford got the bag when it comes to this BLA Prime, right? And these niggas don't like it. These niggas are hurt. They don't like what's going on out here on these boxing streets. They don't like the fact that Bud Crawford decided to stop waiting on Errol Spence Jr. and take his career into his own hands and make shit happen on his own and get paid the biggest bag he ever got. They don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, it all brings me back here. Ain't shit changed. Errol Spence is still ducking Terrence Bud Crawford. He still is. He ducked him in those negotiations. He ducked him by saying he needed to take an easy route first. He ducked him by saying Bud needed to get a belt first, right? All contradictions. All contradictions, because again, Mikey didn't need a belt. Danny didn't need a belt. You know what I'm saying? Mikey got 50-50. Your Dennis Ugas got 50-50. Sean Porter got 60-40. Danny Garcia got 60-40. But Bud got to take a 35% split. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's too obvious. It's too obvious. It's too flagrant. It's too blatant at this particular point. The world is aware of it. The world is aware of it. And these dudes are clearly trying to change the narrative. Let me look at the comment section. Let me see what y'all talking about out here on these boxing streets, man. Let me see what y'all talking about. Modern King Boxers say it's kind of comical, really. Yeah, man, it really is. It really is. Modern King Boxing also says, exactly, all real boxing heads was on it right after ESPN pundit videos. Absolutely, man. ESPN announced to the world that Errol Spence is ducking Terrence Bud Crawford, and it is what it is. I said in my video a little bit earlier that the no transparency was the final straw. It was the final straw. I predicted that it would be the final straw, and it indeed was the final straw. The fact that you don't even want to let the man see the revenue in order to be able to properly determine how much he's supposed to get paid, like, ain't nobody gonna go for that shit, bro. It's a duck, bro. It's a duck. Them niggas don't want to fight. Point blank, period. They don't want to fight. Modern King Boxing says realest boxing talk lives on YouTube. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We out here. Modern King Boxing say it was all about building the fight. It was all about making it bigger. The bigger channels are scammers. Discrediting the event never works. Absolutely, man. Facts. 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 Modern King Boxing says never G-checking Spence. Yeah, man. These dudes, they got all this smoke for Terrence Bud Crawford. Every single move that he makes is Terrence Bud Crawford should do this, and Terrence Bud Crawford should do that, and Terrence Bud Crawford. You know, when you telling somebody to do something, essentially you're admitting that they want the fight. Essentially, you're admitting they want the fight, but you don't like how they're going about trying to make the fight. That's essentially what you're admitting when you tell somebody what they should do in order to pursue the fight. For the last 4 years, a lot of the Errol Spence fans would complain about what Bud should do in order to make the fight happen. But essentially, you're admitting that Bud was looking for the fight. You're merely just criticizing the way he's going about looking for it. But let's keep it going, though. Body number 1, yes, sir. Modern King Boxing says, people got to stand up and support real black excellence. Yeah, man. Yes, they definitely do, man. Salute to that right there. Cheers to that. Cheers to that. Reginald Peters in the building. Salute to you, fam. He say, Bud need a tune up, so he a duck. Reginald, I really hope you hop on the panel tonight, fam. As a matter of fact, I'm going to drop that link in probably in the next 5-10 minutes. You know, I'm going to drop that link. Modern King Boxing says, Reginald, we gonna hear your points, bro. Yeah, man. Yeah, I need to hear where you going with this, Reginald. I already know you gonna come out here capping like a motherfucker, boy. But let me hear what you gonna say. So Archon says a Spence groupie was bound to spawn out of thin air. Yeah, them niggas don't really pull up on the channel, but Reginald is one of the few and the proud to pull up on here and try to spread his rhetoric, right? Because it's all rhetoric and propaganda what Reginald is talking about. But you know, it is what it is. All is welcome out here on these boxing streets. Modern King Boxing says, exactly. So Archon says, Reginald, you trolling? No, he is not. So he is not trolling. He mean what he say and he say what he mean, bro. He mean what he say and he say what he mean. You know what I'm saying? But let me go back to the poll real quick, and then I'm going to continue to cook a little bit more. So as of right now, here we are on the poll. I got a question, and the question is, do you think Errol Spence is ducking Terrence Bud Crawford? Do you still think Errol Spence is ducking Terrence Crawford, right? And I got 33 votes so far. I got 94% of everybody right now in the building saying, yes, he is ducking Terrence Bud Crawford. And I got 6% of everybody right now that's saying no. He is not ducking Terrence Bud Crawford. Reginald, I have a feeling that 6% is you. I have a feeling, Reginald, that 6% is you, my guy. That is you. You're the only vote saying that he ain't ducking, right? But salute to you, fam. Salute to you, fam. But you know, I find this whole thing very interesting that a lot of the Errol Spence fans are trying to vomit up this narrative of Terrence Bud Crawford ducking Errol Spence Jr., right? Because after Terrence Bud Crawford announced his fight with David Avanesian, the first thing we heard from Errol Spence is that he had weight issues, right? That's the first thing we heard from Errol Spence Jr., that he had weight issues. But my thing is, Errol Spence didn't complain about no weight issues while he was taking the easy route, right? He didn't have no weight issues when he was talking about Bud needed to get a belt first. He didn't have no weight issues when he was saying 60-40, 70-30, 80-20. He didn't have no weight issues then. He didn't have no weight issues when they were when he paid Stanionis step aside money in order to get Ugas in the ring. He didn't have no weight issues then. He didn't have no weight issues when they spent the last 6 months lowballing the shit out of a Terrence Bud Crawford because these niggas fought in April and we are in October, right? He didn't have no issues with weight then, but all of a sudden, Bud Crawford announces this fight with David Avanesian, a fight that's supposed to take place this year, when in fact the Errol versus Bud fight would technically take place next year, right? All of a sudden, there are issues with weight. I'm just trying to figure this out. I'm just trying to figure this out. How is this all of a sudden an issue for Errol Spence Jr.? I thought he had 2 more fights, right? I thought he was gonna collect all his belts on his side of the street, and then he was gonna see a Terrence Bud Crawford. So what happened? What happened to the plan? The weight is an issue. You've been at that weight for 10 years. You're 32 years old, and now it's an issue? Come on, man. That timing is a little bit too convenient. That timing is you're the reason why the fight had to wait for the last 5 years. You're the reason. So now all of a sudden, the fight that everybody want to see is ahead of us. All of a sudden, the weight is a problem. I'm just finding that hard to believe, y'all. I'm really finding that hard to believe. My guy, let me go back to the comment section, man. Let me see what y'all talk about out here, these boxing streets. Don Vaughn says, Reginald is a high-level aerosexual. Don Vaughn, he a high-level aerosexual? So he like a, damn, he a high-level aerosexual. Okay, well, damn. He don't rank in the low tier of them. He's a high level. He done leveled up, right? Dude he been grinding. He been grinding to get his levels up. Don Vaughn, he been grinding like an RPG to get his levels up to the level of aerosexuality he's at right now, huh? So Archie says, peace, Reginald. I can respect that. My guy, Modern King Boxer says Reginald gonna duck. He gonna duck like his guy Errol Spence Jr. He gonna duck, huh? Reginald Peters says, LOL, I voted to by mistake. So you voted, yeah, Reginald. That's the truth. You told the truth. In that little moment of time that you voted, Reginald, in that little moment of time that you voted, you had a moment of clarity. That's what that was. You had a moment of clarity and you voted the right way. That's what happened, Reginald. It's divine right there, Reginald. It's divine. You had a moment of clarity and you hit the right button. That's what it was. My guy Titan Burke in the building, he says, Earlsexuals are just in denial. Yeah, bro. These dudes ain't gonna admit shit. These dudes ain't gonna admit shit. You know what I'm saying? I swear to God, Errol Spence could come on this live right now. He can come on the live. He could put his face on the live right now, right? You could do the little eye scan, right? Where you could track somebody's DNA. He could do the little eye scan, the little thumbprint, right? The thumbprint proving everything that he's Errol Spence Jr. He could bring his wife and his kids online, show you everybody, so everybody could see that it's Errol Spence and it's Errol Spence's family. He could come online right now and tell the entire world, I am ducking Errol Spence. I am ducking Terrence Bud Crawford, and there will still be a segment of Errol Spence fans who will deny the shit out of it. Errol can come on here himself and say that he's ducking Terrence Bud Crawford, and there will still be fans. There will still be fans that will try to cape for Errol Spence Jr., bro. The shit is sickening. It really is. Modern King Boxer say, like fan, like boxer. Absolutely, man. Same character traits, man. My guy T Gas in the bed. Salute to you, T Gas. Appreciate you for sliding on through, man. T Gas say, Just because PBC sent a last-minute offer sheet to Bud claiming the fight will be in 2023, it don't mean it will happen. With their history of lying and ducking, why would anybody believe them? Those are facts, T-Gas. Those are facts, man. These dudes been stalling for the last 6 months. These dudes been stalling for the last year, bro. If we keeping it a bean, they've been Bud Crawford has been done with Top Rank since November of 2021, y'all. We are in October of 2022. It has been almost a full calendar year. It has been almost a full calendar year since Bud Crawford has been done with Top Rank, meaning Al Heyman should have been on the phone with Bud Crawford as soon as his deal was done with Top Rank. As soon as Bob Arum was no longer the fiduciary on Bud Crawford, Al Heyman should have been in contact with Bud Crawford. And I refuse to believe that he wasn't in contact with Bud Crawford, meaning they had an entire year to try to work this fight out, right? And the fight somehow, some way wasn't able to get done, right? But dudes want to blame Bud Crawford. Oh, he's difficult. Oh, he's that. Oh, he's that. So how did he get this fight done with Avanesian without no problems? How is it that he can get this fight done with Avanesian easy like this, right? It's so difficult to make a fight with a Terrence Bud Crawford, but the man got more fights than Errol Spence Jr. Let me say that shit again. Terrence Bud Crawford is so difficult to make fights with, but he has more fights than everybody on the PBC stable. Go figure. Right? So who's tougher to make a fight with? Who's tougher to make a fight with? Errol Spence or Terrence Bud Crawford? You know what I'm saying? But just like my guy T-Gas just said, these dudes been lying and ducking this entire time. So y'all saying that y'all shooting for a date of 2023 in February, I'm supposed to sit down and wait for yet another date to potentially be pushed back. So now we get to January, and now the fight got to be pushed back to April. And then we get to April, and the fight got to be pushed back to September. And now we get to September. Next thing you know, we're in 2024, goddamn. Don't nobody got time to be sitting around waiting on Errol Spence. I said it before and I say it again. Don't nobody got time to be sitting around waiting on Errol Spence Jr. Bud is 35 years old. Don't nobody got time, but let's keep it going. So Archon says that weight talk sound like a phase 2 of ducking Crawford. Absolutely. We ain't never gonna fight. Yeah, man. You complaining about the weight now. You've been at that weight your entire pro career, right? You've been at that weight for the last 10 years. You decided you wanted to go on easy routes. You decided that you wanted to fight Ugas. You wanted to fight this person and that person and this person before you fought a Terrence Bud Crawford. But now you having weight problems? I mean, come on, bro. You could miss me with that shit. And you know another funny thing about what a lot of Errol Spence fans like to say, how they like to say that Bud is ducking Errol because he's deciding to fight Avanesian, right? Right now, because the Errol Spence fight ain't happening right now. How do you explain if Bud is ducking because he decided to fight Avanesian? How do you explain all the guys that Errol Spence decided to fight before he fought Bud Crawford? Right? I mean, if Bud Crawford's a duck, wouldn't that make Errol Spence a super duper duck? Wouldn't that make him a mega duck, a super saiyan duck? Wouldn't that make him the god of ducks, the duck god, the duck deity? Wouldn't that make him DuckTales, duck sauce? Because this man decided to fight 5 people before he got in the ring with a Terrence Bud Crawford. So if you're going to sit there and call Bud Crawford a duck for taking a fight ahead of an Errol Spence Jr. fight, in which case he had every right in order to do so, considering the man's been waiting a year. He's been waiting a year on Errol Spence, literally, right? 4 years of waiting on the easy route, right? But if you're going to call Terrence Bud Crawford a duck for taking a fight ahead of an Errol Spence Jr. fight, wouldn't that make Errol Spence the duck god, considering this nigga decided to fight 5 to 6 people ahead of a Terrence Bud Crawford. I mean, y'all gotta make this shit make sense to me, y'all. Y'all gotta make it make sense to me. So let me see. Modern King Boxing says, I can't wait and see if Reginald high level. Yeah, man. Let's see if Reginald pull up, man. Let's see if he pull up. The paper boy, okay, paper boy. Yeah, I got that paper boy. I don't know how many of y'all watch that show Atlanta, man, but you know, the paper boy. Salute to you, fam. He says, common sense tells me Errol a little more concerned about losing than he is undisputed. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. But you know, the proof is in the pudding, because Errol Spence, as soon as this fight was possible to be made, right? So Errol Spence at the beginning of his career, you bring up a really good point, the paper boy. Errol Spence, up until now, was saying he wanted to collect all his belts on his side of the street, and then he wanted to fight Terrence Bud Crawford so that he could become undisputed. That was his little go-to line for the last 4 years, right? But then, as soon as a Terrence Bud Crawford becomes possible to be made, all of a sudden, Errol Spence wasn't so concerned about undisputed. All of a sudden, it didn't matter as much to a Errol Spence Jr., right? All of a sudden, it didn't matter that much. Oh, it don't matter if I fight for, it don't matter if I do this, it don't matter if I fight for undisputed. I mean, that ain't gonna make my career. All of a sudden, it don't matter. But I thought you spent the last 5 years trying to accomplish this. I thought that's what this was about. I thought that's what to collect all the belts on this side of the street. I thought that's what that was about, so you could become undisputed. So how does it become not important? I don't know how many of y'all saw that interview, but how all of a sudden that becomes not important? But let's keep it going though. Very good point right there, the paper boy. You know what I'm saying? My guy Titan Burke over there laughing. Salute to you, fam. Modern King Boxer said Spence was in fat camp to me. It probably was, man. We know Spence a weight bully. You know what I'm saying? We know he a weight bully, man. But I don't want to hear you complaining about weight issues when you had no problem fighting at that weight for the last 10 years. Right? And the reason why you ain't getting a ring with a Terrence Bud Crawford for the last 5 years was because of you. So I don't want to hear no goddamn weight issues from Errol Spence Jr. Titan Burke says, Errol fans sound more confident than Errol himself. Errol never looked enthused about the fight. Body language says it all. Those are big facts right there, Titan. Those are big facts, man. Dude clearly don't want the fight, man. Clearly. He clearly don't want the fight. But let me go ahead, man. I'm finna drop the link right here. And as I drop the link, I'm gonna read some more comments. But let me drop the link. Boom. Here you go right here. There go the link. Anybody that want to come on and rock with your boy King David, you more than welcome. Reginald, that goes double for you, bro. Because I gotta hear the silly shit that you got to say. Because I already know you're gonna be capping like a motherfucker as soon as you hop on here. But feel free to pull on up, man. Matter of fact, let me pin that comment too. Let me pin that link on here too. So hold up. Doop. Okay, I just dropped it. Let's pin it. Paste pin. Okay, boom. So there go the link, man. Pinned up on here, man. Y'all feel free to pull up on your boy, and let me continue to cook on these comments. Okay, we got somebody else that done joined us here in the building, man. My guy, Bold and Understanding. Salute to you, Bold. What's going on with you, man?
Hey, what's up, King David?
Not much, man. Chilling, man. What's on your mind?
Yeah, you was cooking, man. Yeah, man. You know, like you said, man, them Eurosexuals, they want to keep creating new narratives, man. You know, what's so funny though. I saw somebody put out a video. These Eurosexuals actually admitted that they were Eurosexuals. like the shit was funny, including what's that one dude? Because he like sensitive as hell. The dude Ricky Williams. He came out. He said, "I'm an Eurosexual." I said, "Oh my god, man!" Like this shit was crazy, man. He talking about boycott. He said boycott the fight. Is it like an echo?
Yeah, hold on. It's Reginald. I'm gonna mute him real quick. I'm gonna mute you, Reginald, only because you echoing right now. Go ahead, Bo. What you was saying?
Yeah, yeah, that dude, man. When he said he was an Eurosexual, man, he lost all. I mean, I never really had no credit. I ain't really think he had any credibility anyway. But when that dude said he was an Eurosexual, I said, "Oh my goodness." Then he's talking about boycott the Terrence Crawford fight.
Oh
Like
my
you
God.
got dudes actually talking about don't support Black Prime. I see people calling it Black Planet. Like they trying to shit on a black fucking starter act. I'm sitting up here like that's fucking ridiculous, man. These be the same dudes talking about stick together as black people, but then they hating on a black company, and then they all turn their backs on Blue Blood Sports TV because Terrence Crawford, got with him with the whole BLK joint.
Man, these people are crazy, man. It's always a new excuse, always a new narrative that these dudes are trying to come up with, in order to take attention off of Errol Spence. That's why the title of this live is Errol a Duck, Ain't Shit Changed. He's still a duck, man, at the end of the day to me, man. But let me go ahead and move on to the next guy, man. Reginald was the next person to come on to the panel. Salute to you, Reginald. What's on your mind? I know you're going to be cooking up a nasty meal, so let's hear it.
Hey, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing tonight?
What's going on with you, Reginald, man? Salute to you, brother.
Yeah, man, first of all, man, thanks for having me on, man. And second, man, I'm disappointed that this fight fell through. And it's a lot of stories running around. And and basically I truly believe that Terrence Crawford, he needed a tune-up. He been out for a year, and he want to get his timing right. And I think that the deal that he got with Prime, a $10 million deal is going to take some months. And he was negotiating with both teams, both sides. And he said, you know what, I'm gonna pick up this $10 million and I'm gonna fight Earl sometime next year. But all along he was playing both sides of the fence. At the end of the story, he took a business dog. He didn't take a duck like I'm scared.
Oh
but
my God.
He took a business duck.
Oh my God.
And fighting this C-level fighter.
Oh my God. What you call it? You said a business duck, that's what you said?
Yeah, he took a business duck.
Oh my God.
And
Reggie, you know what you just said holds no weight, right? Because the very same people that you support came out and debunked that.
Right. Let him finish cooking, bro. Let him finish cooking real quick. Go ahead, Reggie.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. Earl been a free agent for a year. He his own promoter, his own boss. It ain't no Bob Arum. He could have just sat down and went to Al, got his lawyers, and negotiated. If he don't like it, you could sue Al later on. It happened. Don King got sued. Bob Arum gets sued. If you feel that you was taken advantage of, or you was scammed out of extra millions, you could open up the books in court. If not, they're going to make a default judgment against you. I ain't no lawyer. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying that this new app, you ain't gonna negotiate 2 days, 3 days. You gonna negotiate some months to get this $10 million guarantee deal. You're not gonna do that overnight. And you gotta find this fighter, and he gotta sit down and give him your price. Everybody was talking to that app, to BLK app, and all that take months. And Bud made a business decision that he going to take the latter, which is fight this guy and lead Earl Spence until next year, because I think Bud needed a tune-up. He been out for a year. He want to get his timing right, which is nothing wrong with that. That's what happened with Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was off for about 2 years. Had one fight Pacquiao, man. He looked bad, and I think Bud wanted to put in some work. Then fighting Earl, he did a business dub. But we all both know both fighters not scared of each other. I really believe both fighters want to fight each other. But Bud actually probably did the smart thing. If you think he ain't ready and he want to tune up against a big dog like Earl, You know, and that's where he went.
Oh,
That's where he
hell.
went.
All
You
right,
know
all
what I'm
right,
saying?
all right, Reginald. Hold on. Let me go ahead and move to AC so I can open up the panel because I got to challenge you on a few things you said. Of course, you know how that go. But let me
Yeah.
move on to AC, man. AC, what's going on with your fam? What's on your mind? You there, AC? AC, you gotta take yourself off mute. Look like you on mute. Maybe I put you on mute. Oh, there you go.
All right, cool. So, basically, this is where I'm at. I stated part of what I said in the chat earlier. Errol is the boss. He made a request that he was fighting in November with or without Crawford. He's the boss. This is his demand. It didn't happen, or it's looking like it's not happening. Errol should do what Bud did. Just
hold on real quick. Hey, Ed Charleston. Hey, you can hop your ass on the panel, bro. You ain't gotta just talk crazy over there in the chat. You can hop up on the panel.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Go ahead.
But basically, Errol can leave PBC, not go through all of this bullshit negotiation, not have the fight be constantly pushed back or whatever. If he wants this fight, if he wants that legacy that he's been talking about with Undisputed, he can do what Bud Crawford did. Now, everybody belly aching about that, saying it's a business duck and all other kind of shit.
Still there, AC? AC, you there?
Shit, he probably got internet problems.
Oh man, yeah, he cut off a little bit. Okay, the panel's opened up, man. Okay, I got a question. I got a few questions for you, Reginald.
Okay.
So you said that this was a business duck, which is one of the craziest things I've ever heard. Okay, so how do you explain Bud Crawford waiting an entire year on this fight to get done?
When Bud deal was over with Bob Arum, everybody in the whole world know his next fight got to be with Terrence Crawford. You know, Terrence Crawford got hurt, then he came back and fight Ugas. You know, and then the negotiations started in June. By that time, first of all, I believe both fighters are not scared of each other. But I feel that Errol don't drink no more. Errol back dedicated. Terrence Crawford said, I need to go back to the lab, and I want to tune up before I fight this.
So hold on. Wait, hold on. I'm asking you about the year that Bud Crawford's been waiting on Errol Spence. Because you say they started talking in June, but Bud's been done with Top Rank in November of 2021. Yeah. So how do you explain Bud Crawford waiting that entire time for Errol Spence Jr. fight? And then the other part of the question is, how long should Bud Crawford have to wait on Errol Spence Jr. before he moves on?
Now the thing is, I mean, Ugas and Spence had to take care of their business first. And
why though? Why?
Because those PBC fighters, you know what I'm saying?
So hey, Reggie, I got a question, Reggie. Are you admitting the past 5 years Errol Spence been doing the business duck?
No.
So what was he doing?
So for number one, Bud had Bob Arum doing all this promotion and fight. He only been free for a year.
Can I ask him one question? Name me one fighter in the history of boxing, one champion who's on the level that you put Errol Spence on. Name me that fighter who said, "Let me clean up my side of the street first." To a challenger.
But see, this is comical.
No.
Everybody knows.
That's a duck. No champion has ever said that. Has Wilder ever said that? Has Roy Jones ever said that? Has Devin Haney ever said that?
The truth is, when Earl made that statement,
ever said that? No. Just answer the question. What champion has ever
let me answer?
That?
You gonna let me answer?
Yeah.
And the truth is, all the belts with the PBC.
No, that's not an answer to the question. The question is, what champion in the history of boxing ever said, "Let me clean up my side of the street first," to another champion who was chasing him?
Errol Spence wanted to clean up all the fighters in his company. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, that's
Why
not
can't-
Reggie be cooking up some bullshit, man.
That's not a duck, Reggie.
No.
That's not
Man,
a clean
Reggie, you
duck.
was cooking up some bullshit the other night too, Reggie. Come on, man. You
No.
gotta stop all that.
Reggie,
No. Let me
be
finish. Let me finish. Earl got 3 belts.
He
Bob
didn't have 3
Arum
belts
had
when he made that statement, Reggie.
when Bob Arum had 1 belt, and that's the
He
WBO
didn't
belt.
have 3 belts when he made that statement.
All the belts were PBC.
He had
Porter
1
had a belt. Danny Garcia had a belt, and Earl got the belt. So why not fight my fellow stablemates in my own company?
But you called
Get
out
that out the way before I go from the Bob Arum.
But that
called out
wasn't
before he called out those other guys.
Yeah, and also too, it wasn't an issue with Jeff Horn when Errol was trying to fight him. So why the change in energy for Bud Crawford?
Ain't Jeff Horn with Bob Arum?
I'm trying to figure out.
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out, did Danny and Sean Porter share the same belt? Like you said, they both had a belt.
No. Danny Garcia and Sean Porter fought for the WBC belt. Sean Porter won that WBC belt.
All right.
Earl got the IBF belt. The WBA belt was owned by Pacquiao, and Pacquiao was with PBC.
Danny Garcia didn't have a belt.
Danny Garcia was the WBC champion. He had a WBC.
Hey, Reggie. So let me just say this.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hey, Ed, again, you can jump your goofy ass on, bro. I can cook you face to face. I mean, don't just be a keyboard warrior. Hit the link. The link, nigga. Yeah, hit the link. You ain't gonna hit the link. We know you. Reggie, the only Errol Spence fan around here that got a little bit of balls.
That's president and CEO of Errol Spence Fan Club.
So Reggie, let me ask you this, Reggie. So you saying like the other side of the street was the issue, right?
No,
how come that other side of the street wasn't an issue for Kell Brook?
Kell Brook came from over there in England and beat Porter for that belt. He had the belt, and Earl went and took his belt.
Was Kell Brook ever with the PBC?
No, he was with Eddie Hearns and over there in the UK with Matchroom.
Right. So the other side of the street didn't apply to Kell Brook, right?
That was Earl Spence mandatory. Kell Brook had to fight him. Earl Spence was the #1 contender when he beat Kell Brook.
The other side of the street, it doesn't matter mandatory or not. This is for undisputed. So which is bigger, mandatory or undisputed? To cross the other side of the street, you cross the other side of the street for a mandatory, but you claiming you can't cross the other side of the street for undisputed. That's the issue, Reggie. That's the thing we want to get you to focus on.
But listen, fellas, when Earl Spence finally got Ugas the 3rd belt, he was in the ring and you heard him say, he said, Terrence Crawford, I'm coming for your shit. He had all 3 belts, and Earl Spence said, I'm coming for your shit. You seen them, and he coming out with the fish, knocking on the doors. So that put Bud Spence on notice. Bud Crawford on notice. And I really believe he negotiated with both companies. He negotiated with Black Prime and with Showtime. But I really believe Bud needed a tune-up. He'd been out for a year, and he wanted to get sharp. He wanted to get his timing down, which is nothing wrong with that. So he did a business duck.
No. Look, Reggie, he got tired of waiting on Earl Spence. That's what the truth is. He waited on Earl Spence for a year to make the fight. All right, and the fight still didn't get done. He got tired of waiting, and he said, "Fuck it," and he decided to take a fight before the Earl Spence fight. That's what happened.
He beat August in this past summer. He had to wait a year. Earl got the last and final belt. Then I said, "Okay, you don't got no promoters. Now let's rock and roll." Now, behind the scenes, I think Al Heyman wanted to sign Bud Crawford to a 3-fight deal, which all promoters do, and Bud wasn't going for it.
Okay.
But other than that, I really think that Bud wanted a tune-up. He'd been out for a year. He's a promoter now, and and he might pick up this $10 million offer from this other company, and he made a business duck decision.
Nah, you over here capping heavy with that business duck stuff, man. Come
That's
on,
what
man.
he did. It happens all the time.
Ain't no business duck, bro. This dude been waiting a year on Errol Spence Jr. It's time for him to move the fuck on. He moved on. That's what he did. He moved on. He's still trying to make the fight with Errol Spence Jr., but he moved on. It took him a year to get to this point with the 65-35 and the no guarantee and the B-side on the rematch. And even when he agrees to all those terms, there's still no fight. There's still no fight that's signed. Why? How do you explain the fight not happening after Terrence Crawford agreed to all the terms? How do you explain that, Reggie?
When Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford got together, when Errol finally picked up that last belt, negotiating started. But like I said, by that time, Bud needed a tune-up. He needed a tune-up, and that's why he made.
What you mean though? But what you mean? Earl picked up the belt in April, right?
Okay,
it's October, so they had 6 months to make this fight happen after Errol, quote unquote, picked up that last belt, which, by the way, he didn't need to pick up because at the end of the day, you didn't have to pay Stanionis step aside money in order to fight Ugas. You could have just went straight to Bud Crawford, right? If now all of a sudden there's weight issues, now you're having weight issues. So if you're having weight issues, like you're saying you're having weight issues, wouldn't it have made more sense to fight the bigger and better guy for the bigger bag before getting in the ring with the Ugas?
Come on, fellas. Y'all know boxing, all fighters have weight issues. You know, it's hard staying at 135.
But he never complained about weight issues until now. Now all of a sudden he's saying he got problems making weight.
Handy complained about weight issues. Garcia from Golden Boy complained about weight issues. It happened in boxing. Everybody complained about weight issues. It's hard staying at a one weight for 3 or 4 years. That's why you got to move up.
Well, Reggie, who fault is that? Who fault was to stay there at 3 or 4 years when they could have fought years ago? Who fault is that?
He was with Bob Arum. Bob Arum didn't make the fight.
He tried to fight Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn was also with Bob Arum. So and Al
Heyman ain't gonna make no deals with
and Cal Brooks was with Eddie Hearn. Cal Brooks was with Eddie Hearn. So I mean, if you want to keep talking about other promoters, you know.
And Bud fought John Molina, who was on PBC, and Bud fought Felix Diaz, who was also on PBC. But let me go to my guy, the new guy who just pulled up on the panel. Joe Cool, what's going on with you, fam? What's on your mind?
What's going on, everybody? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, what up, dog?
What's going on?
Nothing much, man.
I ain't never seen a fight take this long to be made, man. Bud been ready ever since November. And you remember when they had the altercation at the fight that was in the back, and you remember Bud asked Spence, they ain't mention me. You know, he named fighters. Spence named fighters he was gonna fight, and then Bud was like, they didn't mention me. Right there told you right there that he didn't ever want to fight him. That he was never intended to fight Bud. So now that Bud is ready to fight this dude, why does it take 6 months? I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's right there in your face. And a lot of Spence fans like to deflect and talk about other fighters and talk about other situations with other fighters, and it's like this dude right here been waiting all this time to fight you, and you still ain't gonna fight him yet. I guarantee you, when Bud win this fight in December, it's gonna be another excuse for Spence to not fight him. All he doing is trying to age him out. He's trying to age him out so Bud a little weaker and a little better on Spence part. So why come he ain't fought him yet? He could have fought Bud before he fought Ugas.
Bud was still signed with Top Rank.
No, he wasn't.
Was it?
He wasn't. No, he wasn't. He was out of Top Rank by the time Errol made the Ugas fight. Errol didn't make the Ugas fight till January. Bud was done with his contract in November the year before.
Right. And was he really injured? Was his eye really detached?
Yes, his eye. Come on, fellas. He went through a window. He went through a window in the car accident, man. You can't.
You come back that fast? You come back that fast? You come back that fast to fight Ugas?
Yes.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Seen it with the eye. Come on now. We getting carried away now. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it, you don't negotiate a $10 million deal overnight, fellas. It's going to take weeks, months. I got to get my lawyer. You get your lawyer. Let's meet at some law firm office and let's haggle out the details.
Hey, you know how long it could take? A year. That's how long Bud Crawford been waiting on Errol Spence Jr. A year. He had a time. I don't understand with Errol Spence fans, right? Do y'all not understand that Bud Crawford could have fought 3 times in the last year? He could have fought 3 times in the time that it took for Errol Spence for this whole negotiation process. He could have fought 3 times. So there was enough time in there where he could have worked out another deal. It's not like the Errol fought Ugas last month or 2 weeks ago, and now they're talking about making this fight, and now all of a sudden Bud is coming up with a whole nother. No, it's been a whole year.
But fellas, you got to listen to what Bud Crawford said. He said, "I do not need Errol Spence," which is true.
Errol said the same thing.
But listen, he said, "I'm in a Hall of Fame." He's one of only 2 or 3 fighters in history who's still fighting that's in a Hall of Fame.
Let me ask you this real quick, Reginald. What you think about Floyd Mayweather saying the fight ain't happening? What you think about that?
This what I believe. One thing about top promoters, or let's just keep it street. The top drug dealers know who's what and selling what on what block. Now you got this new company coming around the block, want to set up shop, and you being the big top drug dealer. Also, who's those cats? You know what I'm saying? And I really believe Al Heyman and Floyd knew these young guys around the corners starting up their own company, and they said, "Okay, let's watch them and see how they move." And that's when Floyd said the fight ain't happening because somebody dropped the dime on Floyd and Al Heyman. Like, look, Bud negotiating around the corner too. You know what I'm saying? Which is nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so essentially, you're saying that they knew, they got heads up that this was going to happen, and that's why they're saying that, right?
Right.
Okay,
right.
So how do you explain Floyd Mayweather making the same statement 4 years ago?
At that time, he was with Bob Arum.
Wow.
4 years ago.
Really?
And why is Floyd still fighting? Why he still fighting exhibition?
Why is Floyd fighting on the same day that this fight was supposed to happen? And then you got this guy, Something K, who said the fight was definitely happening because he was about to drop some shit where one of the undercard fighters had confirmed to him that date was real. He was ready to sign a contract for the fight for the undercard fight, for that fight to happen. So where you saying what you saying, and then if you listening to everybody, it just don't add up. It don't even pass the smell test. Because at the end of the day, Errol made a statement. I'm fighting in November, with or without this man. Floyd said, no, you're not. Floyd fighting in November. And he don't give a fuck about neither one of y'all. And now another new company, just like the Zone did with other fighters, just offered them big money to come on their side because that's the way you get the big names. You put out some money for a really big name, and then you pay for a filler. Adrian Broner's the filler. Bud Crawford's the big name. That's how you launch your app with a big name. So at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, if Blue Blood is involved with this company, why didn't Blue Blood press Spence first when Blue Blood known that all of this stuff was really going on? Because he's in the room. So at the end of the day, Blue Blood and Errol Spence speak to each other. Spence can easily call Blue Blood. So at the end of the day, the same thing applies. Errol Spence can call Blue Blood and say, get me this fight. I'm not going out like this. Fuck PBC. They shitting on me.
Well, I don't know if Blue Blood, that's just a rumor. I don't know if Blue Blood done with Black Prime. I'm not sure if he is or not. But
look at the interview with Blue Blood and Adrian Broner.
He admitted that he's affiliated with Black Prime.
He said in the video that they claiming that I stopped it because Blue is a person who actually brought Terrence Crawford to the table.
I'm saying this is a rumor or this is facts.
Huh?
Is Blue Blood, this is a rumor or this is facts?
No,
he
this is
really
fact.
affiliated and getting paid by Black Prime? Is that fact or a rumor?
Who's involved in that? Look at BFTB because BFTB made a video about it, talking about y'all want me to be mad because Blue Blood made a great business decision for himself. I could never be mad at Blue Blood because that's my dude and he made the best business decision for him and his family. So Blue Blood is part of BLK Prime. The stories you're hearing about Blue Blood bringing Terrence Bud Crawford to the table is real because him and Blue must have came to some sort of agreement and exchanged information after that 7-Eleven encounter. So you have to put all the different pieces together and not just go by the bubble. If you stay within inside of a bubble, guess what? Wind, a sharp needle, anything could pop the bubble. And then you just fucked up. But what I'm saying is, if you staying outside the bubble and you reading what's really going on, you know, wetting your finger and putting it up there to see which way the wind is blowing, then you'll start to get a clear picture of what the fuck really going on.
But that goes to my original statement that this company that Terrence Crawford signed for, who will give him $10 million, it will make sense to take the easy role and fight the other guy, other street for $10 million instead of Errol Spence, who's a big dog.
Greg, let me ask you this question.
That's my business dog.
Let me ask you this question, Greg. Me and you are supposed to buy a house, right?
Right.
We're supposed to buy a house. You go in half, I'm going half, right?
Right.
But I'm stalling on my half. So now some other rich kid comes up to you and says, listen, that house is only worth $2, maybe $3 million. Dude, I'll give you $10 million if you come to my joint, promote my real estate company. I'll give you $10 million and you could buy a fucking mansion. What are you going to do? You're going to still fuck around with me and I'm not being 100% sure. And I'm telling you, well, listen, my daughter's birthday coming up. The holidays is coming up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this shit this year. Or you going to go to that other guy after you heard me say that, turn around and call that dude up like, listen, this other motherfucker fronting over here. You serious about that 10 mil? And the dude say, yeah, I'll send you over my financials. And then you see the financials, you gonna turn that $10 million down, knowing that me and my lawyers are saying, listen, let's not buy the house now, let's buy it next year.
Of course, I'm gonna take the $10 million deal.
I'm not saying I'm not buying a house. I'm just saying I want to do it sometime next year.
And not to mention, the other person ain't gonna get that amount of money. He didn't go to the other person to ask for the same amount. He told him, like, I'm gonna give you that same amount. He didn't go to the other person. Come on, man.
No matter how you slice it, that's still a business duck.
That's a business
duck. Business duck. Has Spence ever got that amount? Has Spence ever got that amount of money?
No.
For one fight? Is he ever gonna get one like that?
I don't know, but I doubt it.
If he don't drop PBC and go over to BLK,
he's a business duck. You know,
hey, if Bud is a business duck, then that would make Errol a Fortune 500 corporate
duck. He's
a
corporate duck.
He beat everybody except the guy who took the business duck and left.
But PBC been underpaying him ever since he's been signed to PBC.
Definitely.
One thing about Al Heyman.
Explain why he ain't got $5 million or $6 million.
Trying to let them niggas know. Wilder been trying to let them know all y'all being underpaid.
This how Al Heyman pay his guys. He'll come to your back door 2 o'clock in the morning with a garbage bag full of money. Same thing Don King used to do.
Like the dude Tay said, that buddy deal, that buddy money is real funny right now coming from the PBC. Trust me.
No, nobody complained about PBC but cokehead Adrian Broner, who let all these
What about Tank Davis complaining about it? What about Wilder complaining about it? Wilder complains about it, but he speaks to the whole thing. But Wilder
never said anything about his money.
Even in my stable, fighters are trapped. They're stuck in situations and fucked up contracts that they can't do nothing about it. Trust me. This is why I don't need the fight. This is why I don't need to put.
Let's get back on Bud and Earl, because we're on another lane.
Saying that people are not complaining. There are fighters complaining. Plenty of PBC fighters are complaining. You guys are just not listening because you're because you're so caught up in the individual. You're not looking at boxing as the business. You're looking at boxing as the individual. How the business of boxing is treating your individual.
It's always been like that.
No, it hasn't.
Yes, it has.
No, it hasn't, my brother.
When Ali was on top, Larry Holmes had to wait.
When Ali was on top, you had fighters fighting what were called what were these fights called? Volunteer.
That's just boxing, man.
These were called volunteer fights, not for any belt, not for anything, just because one guy talking shit or one fighter wants to stay busy because the number 6 guy, because the 1 to 5 guys don't want to fight, and the number 6 guy said, you know what, I think I could take the champ. Remember back in the days, you used to have plenty of volunteer fights like that. Mike Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes. It didn't matter. You had a bunch of volunteer fights that weren't for nothing. Now, Bud takes a volunteer fight and you calling it a business duck.
That's what it is. There's nothing wrong with that.
Then what the fuck is the volunteer fight for Ali?
So if Spence would have done the same thing, you would have called it a duck too? What would you have called that?
I would have called it a business duck. It's nothing. It happens all the time.
Wow.
Or you could say step aside money. Step aside money is another form of business duck.
So Errol been ducking, Reggie, right?
Telling somebody gonna clean up the side of the street is a business duck too.
No, he fought everybody. He fought everybody.
No, he don't. No, he does not. He don't even. He hasn't even fought none of his mandatories.
He didn't fight Boots.
Right, name a mandatory.
4 years.
He fought all the champions and took their belts like Carnelo. He the champion.
What about the mandatories though? Has he fought a mandatory yet? When is he gonna fight a mandatory?
That's what they're negotiating right now, because Bud took the business money. He took the business debt and went across the street.
I guarantee you he ain't gonna fight no mandatory.
Or he moving up. He moving up.
Wow. Why didn't he say that? Yeah. Why didn't he say that when he fought Ugas? After he beat Ugas? Well, I'm gonna move up to 154.
He could have made the same announcement.
He wants to be undisputed. He said, "I'm
coming for
Terrence Crawford." He said, "Terrence Crawford, I'm coming for your shit."
Mike, like a duck. Because that sounds to me, Mike, like a duck.
Hey, Errol.
See, this what I don't like about ESPN. ESPN had Bud on this team, but they was promoting Lomo. They was promoting Lomo. They was promoting Lomo. They was promoting Lomo.
Sports network.
And they have the best fighter.
So they have a right to talk shit about any boxing match. They cover all sports, regardless if they down with Bud or not. That's the business. That's ESPN's business model, to cover all sports.
They don't do it fair.
And Max Kellerman always been talking up about Bud Crawford. He always give Bud Crawford props.
But Max Kellerman's biased, man. You ever listen to him? He's biased.
First it ain't promoter, now he's biased. Come on, man. Which one is it?
Because he also Lomo. Lomo's better than Shakur. Lomo's better than Tank. Lomo this and Lomo that, fellas. They was trying to promote this white European.
I never heard Max Kellerman say that one time.
Hey, real quick, hold on, real quick. For anybody who's blaming PBC and Al Heyman and PBC? Because I keep hearing these names brought up.
It's the fighters. It's always the fighters. When they ask for something and it's a fight that can be made, we're gonna go do it. We're gonna.
Y'all heard that?
Play the Deontay Wilder one too. Play the Deontay Wilder one so he can get that one too.
Oh yeah. That's why I don't want to hear nothing about PBC or Al Heyman or none of these dudes. I couldn't care less.
You got to play what Bud said after that too when he was in that press conference.
Man,
so it ain't him. It ain't his fault. It's not his fault that the fight ain't happening.
He said, "Hold up, wait a minute, rewind, wait a minute, hold on." But before we got some more incriminating evidence from Deontay Wilder, Mr. PBC Bomb Squad, the highest selling pay-per-view guy.
We don't avoid anyone. Who I want, we're gonna get. Al don't hold back his fighters on things. He may give his suggestion on this and that or whatever, but pretty much who we want, we're gonna get.
So Guillermo Maldonado, that was for you right there, fam. Wilder and Tom Brown told you, man.
I don't know who Tom Brown is, but Wilder said Al Heyman is the boss. He is the boss. So if
wait, is that what Wilder said?
You might want to play that again, Keith.
Yeah, play that again. I think you missed that.
Yeah, he's clearly missed it.
Okay, let me listen.
Give his suggestion on this. Who I want, we're gonna get. Al don't hold back his fighters on things. He may give his suggestion on this and that or whatever, but pretty much who we want, we're gonna get. So
you heard that?
Right.
I gotta play it again. You need
I heard that. I heard it.
Okay.
He said whatever the fighters they want, they gonna get.
Right.
And Earl Spence said he won't Bud Crawford. He said, I'm coming for your shit. He's the last king.
Apparently, what happened 4 years ago?
He ain't tell Al Heyman that.
Yeah, he ain't tell Al.
He was with Bob Arum, fellas.
But Earl Spence won something. He'll get it.
What does Bob?
Hey. So was Jeff Horn, and also you know who else was on another side of the street? Canelo Alvarez. He said he wanted Canelo. They tried to make that fight. But let me guess, that's different, right?
No.
Oh, that's not considered a duck, right? That ain't considered a duck, right?
No. Terrence Crawford had $1 million clause in his contract to fight Earl Spence, and Bob still didn't make the fight, and that's why Buzz suing him right now for $1 million.
But wait a minute, I thought Earl was collecting all his belts on his side of the street. So which one is it?
He did collect all his belts. I'm talking about
but you saying that's the reason the fight ain't happened because Bob didn't make the fight, is what you were saying. So that's why he was doing the lawsuit. But I thought Earl was collecting his belts on his side of the street.
He got all the belts. He got 3 belts.
I know he got the 3 belts, but you saying that Bob Arum is the problem. But I'm telling you that Earl already told the world that he was collecting his belts on his side of the street. So it really didn't matter what Bob Arum did. So why are you blaming Bob Arum?
Exactly. Bob is irrelevant after Errol said, let me clean up my side of the street.
No, because the narrative is y'all trying to say that y'all been waiting 5 years for this fight, and that's not true. Y'all been actually waiting for under a year when Terrence was a free agent.
Okay. Why does Terrence have to be a free agent if the fighters want to fight? They'll fight. Why does Terrence Crawford got to be a free agent?
Because both Al Heyman and boss Bob Arum did not make the fight happen.
Why didn't they make the fight?
Because they want to keep the belts in their company. You know, that's how promoters do.
So
isn't that a duck though?
All the belts go to ESPN or Top Rank if he does not fight Errol Spence. That contradicts your statement. All the belts. All the belts are 4, not 3, not 2, not 1. All the belts. And
if they want to keep the belts, then how is it that Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury had 2 fights amongst Top Rank and PBC? If they were so concerned about the belts.
Hey, moderators, block this 69 whatever X whatever is in the chat, man. Block that motherfucker, please. Time them out. Do something.
There's nothing wrong with taking a business, duck, fellas. Earl said, man, I gotta wait because Bud got scared. He seen what I did to Uga's eye.
Oh,
And
hell no.
Hey, Reggie,
You
so
smoking
you
crack,
Terrence
right?
was like,
Reggie,
look,
You
so now
I'm
you
smoking
gonna
saying
crack,
play
it's
10
not
right?
wrong to
million.
take a
Sean
business
Porter,
route?
why not take the easy route and knock out Sean Porter?
Right.
Yeah,
Sean
yeah.
Porter went
It's
the
easy route.
easy
It's easy route of
and
business
you
though.
And then go in there and
you
struggle
didn't
with
knock
him.
him out.
Man, Sean was on his way out, man. Sean
Oh, now,
was on his
this
way
Man,
nigga
out.
saying,
break
Hey,
down what make
this
you think
nigga
Spence gonna beat Crawford, man. Break that down for me, please. What make you think Spence gonna beat Crawford? Break that
This
down.
it's real simple. This is real simple, fellas. We are Bud fans, even though y'all think I'm not, but I am. I'm a
no, you're
biggest
not. No,
Bud
you're not.
fan.
No, you're
I
not.
am. Look, if Bud was not fighting Errol Spence, I am a 100% down with Bud.
Oh,
But Bud
hell.
fighting
Hey,
Earl, and
Reggie,
Earl,
are you,
I'm
hey, Reggie,
picking
are you
Earl.
an Earl sexual, Reggie? Are you an Earl
Huh?
sexual?
Hell no, man. But I'll tell you what, I'm a big fan of Terrence Crawford's sister. If you want to go that way, you know what I'm saying? I think his sister's hot. And I guess I'm a brother-in-law to Earl Spence. Terrence Crawford.
All right, hold on real quick, y'all. We got somebody new that joined us here in the panel. My guy, Sean T. Salute to you, Sean T. What's on your mind, fam?
What up,
Man,
dog?
salute to the panel. Yeah, I'm wondering, like, are you guys being serious, man? Like, y'all really supporting this duck move from Crawford, man?
Oh my God, we got another Earl
Thank
Spence
you.
fan on the
And
panel. Oh
another
my
one.
God.
Definitely,
And
Oh,
another
y'all
definitely.
one.
tag teaming
Let him
on
speak.
here.
Let him
Okay.
speak on how it's a
Go
duck
ahead.
move.
Go ahead, fam. Yeah. Go ahead, cook, man. Floor is yours.
Yeah. Well, my whole thing is this, man. You guys are saying that it took an entire year for Crawford to make this move right here, but the fact of the matter is this, man. Like, you can't deflect. He pulled out of this fight. He's fighting a bomb. He could have fought anybody else before this anesthesian dude, Abenesian, whatever the fuck his name is. Like, this doesn't even make sense, bro. So explain it to me. Like,
Okay,
what's going on?
let me ask you this
I see what it is, man. I see what
Who,
it is. You want Terrence Crawford to fight Spence mandatories, right? That's what it is, right?
No, I
Because
want him to fight Spence.
Boots
I
was
want him to
on
fight
his
Spence.
who in the WBO? You said he could fight anybody. Who out of the top 5 in WBO has been calling out Terrence Crawford? Well, we could take out one fighter right now because he popped dirty. He just dropped his license, and we ain't seen that nigga for the next 2 to 4 years. He got a 2 to 4. He got to serve. So that's your boy Ben.
Connor Ben.
The number 5 guy is quiet as a church mouse. The number 3 guy ain't saying shit either.
Okay. So who's Boots?
Then you got Boots.
Boots said he want to fight Spence.
Boots is chasing.
No. What Boots said was what Boots just said. What Boots just said in his most recent interview on YSM. What Boots said was he would have took that immediately. But he was nobody called him.
What did he petition for? What belt did he petition
We
for?
got to get the spaceship right in a minute, baby.
What belt did he petition for?
That's what he said. But his father,
He's breaking up a little bit.
His father and everyone else was talking about they filed a petition for Spence. I hear what Boots said, but I'm also listening to what his father and coaches are saying as well.
He sure did file that petition for the IBF. So yeah, that's supposed to be mandated next.
That's not what the question was.
And you know what else those two, Sean T? This dude had an option to go the WBO route, and guess what he decided to do? He decided to go the IBF route and chase after Errol Spence. And then when people asked him what fight he wanted, he said he wanted Earl Spence next. He didn't say nothing about Bud.
And that's cool. And that's cool. But what I'm saying is, but he's saying, but what he's saying, but what Boots is saying, what Boots is saying is that nobody contacted his camp in regards of Terrence Crawford fighting
Why
next.
would they contact him when everyone knows for the longest Boots is chasing Spence?
What do you mean? Why would they contact him? Because that's a good fight. Nobody's going to be thinking about
That's what it is.
someone chasing somebody else when it's time to make some
So
money.
why
Man.
didn't Spence call out Boots then? Y'all want Boots to fight Crawford so much. Why didn't Spence call him out then?
No. Hold on. I don't want Boots to fight Crawford. I'm just saying this: before you fight David Evanesian, there are other better fighters to fight.
Yeah,
That's
but
all I'm saying.
none of them are active.
Wait, hold on. But hold on. Here go the thing though.
Yeah, I'm listening.
The only other name that you're naming is Boots, and possibly Keith Thurman. But aren't those two people on the same side of the street, with the same company that Errol Spence is on? In which case, Bud has been negotiating with Errol Spence. In which case, it's been about a year since they've been negotiating. So what makes you think that he should be able to go and make a fight with these dudes as easily as that when he's been negotiating with Errol Spence for the last year?
Great question. Wow. That's it.
They ain't got the answer, Sway. They ain't got the answer.
That's a hard question.
Hold on. Here's the deal. Hold on. All the way up to this point, we were talking about Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford just pulled out. You understand? It's not like Earl would have to go and fight.
You can't pull out of a fight that's not made though. But go ahead.
He pulled out of negotiations. Let's say that, whether it's the fight or negotiations.
That's not true either, because he still said that the negotiations are ongoing. So he didn't pull out of negotiations. He didn't pull out of the fight. They're still negotiating for a fight.
You're saying what he's saying. Listen, bro. Here's the deal. He blindsided everybody with this move. PBC, Errol Spence, everyone included. Everybody. So after he makes his 10 million, 5 million, 15 million, and he wants to come back to the drawing board, do you really think Al Heyman and the rest of them are going to sit there and want to trust him to do honest business?
Wait,
if they don't procrastinate, then shit.
So you don't think he was blindsided when they offered him 35%? Was he blindsided with that offer?
Well, according to Crawford and Crawford's camp, they accepted 35%. They accepted everything. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but
they accepted all terms, correct?
Then they blindsided.
So hold on. So if they accepted all that, then how did we get to this point?
Because they blindsided it. Remember Errol Spence said he was joking about the 70-30 and 60-40, but then they offered Crawford 35%.
You don't even hold on. We don't know what they offered him. Terrence Crawford's nephew came out and said that was cap. Yes or no?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. I saw the video. He said no. He said wherever y'all got this 35%, that shit ain't true.
So you mean to tell me Terrence Crawford's nephew knows more than Terrence Crawford, even though Terrence Crawford is the one negotiating?
We got the 35% from Blue Bloods, a dude he's connected with this
Mike Coppinger.
Black crime.
Hold on,
what are you talking about?
Blue Blood, Mike Coppinger, and Bernie the Boxer reported the same thing, and Bud even said the same thing himself.
Bud never
took the 35%.
Bud never said that, man. Bud never said nothing. That's what the problem is. Everyone is speaking for Crawford.
Right. And Bud, if you go on Bud page right now, he don't mention the fight at all. I googled it.
Man, y'all just upset. Y'all upset Boots on Spence tail, man. That's what it is, bro. Y'all upset Boots on Spence tail.
Bro, you guys are the only ones who are afraid of Boots. I think that Earl should fight Boots next if he's not going to move up. I don't even know what you're talking about.
That's a good point.
Because at least Boots got the balls to fight the man.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. So what are you gonna say if Errol Spence don't fight Boots next?
You talking about if? You saying if?
I'm asking you a question though. It is an if though, but I'm asking you that question. Are you gonna say that that's a duck?
Listen, first of all, Stanionis was paid twice for step aside. Boots right now, Boots. They just recently petitioned the IBF. Stanionis has been on hold for a minute.
Since 2018. Bro, 2018 IBF comes first.
Question, bro. I just want to ask you this one question. I tend to
come on with it. Yeah.
What boxer in the history of boxing, a champion on the level that you put Errol Spence on, what boxer has ever made this statement? Let me clean up my side of the street first.
Okay.
And that
no boxer
as an honorable as an honorable thing.
Well, Errol Spence is the first person I heard say that in those specific words. But hold on. Now, if you press rewind right before that, Timothy Bradley said, when have we ever done business with those people over there, meaning the PBC, when he was asked about fighting Errol Spence as a mandatory?
Did Timothy Bradley said, let him clean up the side of the street first?
He was talking about getting the belts in the PBC, fellas. Come on now. He was talking about getting the rest of the belts in the PBC.
Man, okay, so if that's the case, then why did he fight Mikey Garcia?
Called out another fighter.
You said why did he fight Mikey Garcia?
Yeah, what belt did Mikey Garcia have? Since he was trying
Mikey Garcia didn't have a belt, but what we could say is this: right before the Mikey Garcia fight, Errol Spence jumped in the ring with Sean Porter, and he wanted to fight Sean. And Sean said that's an easy fight to make, but Sean opted to fight Ugas instead, and Mikey was ready.
I understand that, but why did he fight Mikey Garcia?
Mikey called him out.
Okay,
Mikey called him out.
Crawford ain't call him out. Terrence Crawford ain't call him out.
He went with PBC. He was
listen. Hold on. Let's keep this real.
Hold on. Did Errol Spence not say Terrence Crawford needs to get a belt first? He ain't said nothing about the size of the street.
That's not true. That's not true either. That's not true.
God, man, King Dave,
why did Errol?
I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you what happened.
Both you and Keith Thurman said get a belt. Now I got a belt, and both you and Keith Thurman done disappeared. Keith done ran over there, and you done ran over there. I got a belt now. What's up?
So what you're doing is you're going off of the backstage thing. What I'm saying is this: when you're talking about the belt, hold on. What we're talking about is the go get a belt statement supposedly made. That's not what happened. When Errol Spence was on ESPN, they asked him, because Crawford was about to fight Horn, and they asked him about fighting Crawford, and what he said is he has to first get the belt from Horn, which and when he gets that belt, because he favored Crawford to beat Horn. So do the whole thing. Do the whole
interview. But you ain't finished the sentence, because he also said once he get that belt, we can make it happen. And now, like 4 or 5 years later, we still in the same position.
Unified.
Listen, bro. Listen, man. Y'all can't bullshit me with this, man. Hold on. Listen. When Terrence Crawford got the belt, when he beat Horn, guess what happened? He was looking for Keith Thurman and Pacquiao. He wasn't mentioning Errol Spence, and Errol Spence wasn't mentioning. Hold on. And Errol Spence wasn't mentioning Terrence Bud Crawford. Errol Spence was chasing Thurman and Pacquiao as well.
He said he wanted all. He said he wanted all the champions, which included Errol Spence, because he was a champion. He said, "I'm calling out all the champions." That was when he was moving up to welterweight, right?
I guess Errol Spence is Free Smoke Jr. with the exception of fighting Terrence Crawford, right?
Right. Who got the fight? Who got the fellas? Who got the fight now? And who don't got the fight? If Terrence Crawford was serious about fighting Errol Spence, he would took a bad, shitty deal like Devin Haney did. Devin Haney was so desperate.
Hold on. Wait a second.
He did take a shitty deal and they pushed the fight back.
Right. But you know what?
He did take a shitty deal and
hold on.
the fight back.
Hold on.
What was the deal?
But AC, here go the thing though, right? Because these dudes always ask Bud Crawford to do this, and if he really wanted to fight, he would do that. So 2 things, right? By you saying that, if you're essentially admitting that he's chasing Errol Spence. That's what you're admitting when you say he should do that and he should do that. But then the other part about that is, why does Bud Crawford got to do everything to make the fight? What has Errol Spence done in order to get this fight with Bud Crawford? Questions need answers.
So this is the truth, fellas. Terrence Crawford get all his accolades at 135 and 140. He didn't do a damn thing at 147 to beat his big whoop. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence
Mikey
Stayed
Garcia,
at 140 his whole career.
Mikey Garcia ain't do nothing at
Somebody got a lot
147.
background.
Yeah, somebody got noise, some static in the background. Yeah, Mikey Garcia ain't do nothing at
My bad, y'all. That
147
was
either.
me.
Mikey Garcia didn't do nothing at 147 either. So what are we saying here when we bringing up what he did at 147? He was an undisputed champion at 140 pounds. That by itself was enough to get a fight with whoever the top dog is at the higher weight class. Period.
Right, right. That's true. But what he did was he petitioned. He didn't petition. He put in effect that he wanted to fight Jeff Horn. He didn't try to fight nobody else. And Bomac said that.
Name what other sanctioning company that allows you to move up and weight and directly challenge for the title? Because the WBO is the only one I know that do that.
The only one who does it.
So I
But
mean,
like I
so
said,
all this he should have went and fought Errol Spence when he moved up, crack. When Errol Spence
no,
himself said, get a belt first.
like I said, if he was serious, like David Haney, who signed a fight deal with Bob Arum,
Man, that's cooking up some bullshit, man.
who left the zone. The zone was paying Devin Haney big time money. But Devin Haney was so hungry and so confident in his
He ain't did
skill,
nothing in the welterweight today.
he took a pay cut and he fought composed.
When he get a belt,
And he still got to
you want
fight.
to go over there?
Y'all Captain Nine.
I mean, hey, listen, they doing that, but you still got to listen to what Terrence Crawford has said out his own mouth. He said the fight was behind him. He said this fight was going to happen down the road. He also said that if a fighter really wants, if a fighter really wants to fight, money would not be an issue.
Yeah,
He said
why was Errol Spence talking about 60, 40, 70, 30? Because Errol Spence only one been talking about money.
35% agreeing to it. Everyone knows that. All you guys agreed to it already. So he showed that the money don't mean nothing by taking the 35% and no guarantee. He just wanted to know, if you telling me my money coming from net and not gross, I need to see the sources. So at the end of the day, that's a simple spreadsheet. But
and not to mention, why is that Terrence Crawford got to be the one taking these deals? But Ugas ain't had to take it. Mikey didn't have to take it. Danny didn't have to take it. Sean didn't have to take it. But all of a sudden, Terrence got to take this Devin Haney deal, and that deal that you talking about is even worse than the Devin Haney deal. So I don't know.
Hey, Bo, even Ocampo got a guarantee.
Can I ask this question?
That's the lie.
How much was they offering this dude?
35% of net profits.
And what's the net profit?
That's everything after expenses.
Okay.
Well, okay, so do you know if that's a good deal or a bad deal?
No,
what are you talking about?
You don't do that. I wouldn't listen, if someone came to me and said, Mike, listen, I got this deal for you, but you're going to take 70-30 off the net. And I say, okay, all right, that sounds great. So let's say the deal, they convinced me, I bought into it, it was for $1 million, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now, the expenses came out to $800,000 because these niggas put on this big elaborate, thing that everything costs money. Cameramen and everybody. Toilet tissue for the bathrooms and shit like that. Gift baskets for everybody in the VIP room. So all of that shit costs money. The net is $200,000 left. I get 35% of $200,000 of $1 million. How much money is that?
This the funny thing. This is the funny thing, fellas. How come this new company afford to pay Terrence Crawford $10 million?
The same way the Zone offered all that big money to Shakur Stevenson.
Same way Trilla offered big money.
But Trilla didn't pay him.
Trilla didn't pay Mike Tyson.
Mike sued him now.
Okay, but I'm saying, did they offer big money?
No, let me finish. Everybody know that Al Hammond Showtime was going to put up the money. The money's there. I did not hear one time Terrence Crawford talking about, well, let me see your books. Let me see your books from this new app. You know what I'm saying?
Because they showed him financials.
The deal was easy. They didn't bullshit Terrence Crawford. The deal was made. Now, when you got PBC, that's bullshit. And where was Errol Spence at the negotiating table? Why didn't he show up at the negotiating table?
Why would he be at the negotiating table if he signed his part? What are you talking about? If he already signed his end,
you're fighting. You're a fighter. Do you not show up at the negotiating table, or you just gonna let Al do everything for you?
listen, dig this, man. Let's keep it a buck. Listen, man. When Top Rank held all the power when it came to the welterweight, lightweight, whatever, they do in-house fights. That's it. That's all. If they got Lomachenko go fight Teofimo Lopez or whoever the fuck. They not gonna go looking for PBC. Everyone does in-house fights.
Right.
See, what y'all want to do is y'all want to sit there and say PBC did what everybody else does. If they have the power, they're not going to sit up there. They're not going to sit up there. Listen, they're not going to sit up there and let Bob Arum bring his ass over there and get a piece of the pie. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Listen, the same man who tried to destroy Terrence Crawford's name out in the public and make it where no promotional company wants to deal with him by saying he loses so much money fucking with him that he could buy a house in Beverly Hills.
When he paid him
It didn't change the fact that he kept paying Terrence Crawford a lot of money. So
he paid the man $14 million. He paid the man damn near $15 million after he made those statements.
Now, why did he sue? Why did Terrence Crawford sue him?
Right.
Why did Terrence Crawford sue him?
Yeah, that's a good question. If he getting all that money.
But let me ask you this question.
Do you know how much?
No, answer that first. Why did he sue him?
Hold on. Do you know how much
Because he had every right to sue him. That answers your question.
Do you know how much?
Why did he sue him?
Because he had
you
every
know the
right
amount he
to
was suing for.
Okay, I ain't hear the answer. Why did he sue him?
He had every right to sue him based on whatever.
All right, let me. I'll explain it.
Yeah, please do, because that's so vague.
So here's the thing. What happened was in 2019 or 2020, one of those years, Errol Spence, Bob Arum said he was going to try to get that fight with Errol Spence for Terrence Crawford. If the fight did not happen,
you give him $1 million.
Top Rank will own like $900,000. So that's what he's suing him for. He's not suing him because some other shit that y'all thinking about. It was the fact that Bob owes him $900,000 because he didn't get the fight that year.
Know that. That's why I'm giving him such a vague answer, because it's just a stupid question to ask when you know. If you've been talking the way you talking so far, that was a rhetorical question. So
it was a rhetorical question.
So I'm not going to answer.
Hold on. And the reason why it's the rhetorical question is because you can't have it both ways. You cannot have Errol Spence ducking them, but then you have my man who cannot make the fight. You can't have it both ways. Because guess what? If Errol Spence was truly ducking him, I would never sue my promoter if I know my promoter is doing everything in his power to make the fight.
Is the boss.
Hey, hold on real quick, y'all. Got a super chat, gotta read real quick. This from my guy Truly Israel. He say, salute King David. Devin Haney took a lower percentage because he wanted to go for undisputed. Now it's time for Spence to take a lower percentage. If he want to go undisputed, Crawford has already been there. I made the same point in another video.
Man.
Absolutely. If he want undisputed, guess what? You gotta make sacrifices.
No, man, because number one, Terrence Crawford.
That's different.
Terrence Crawford do not put asses in the seats, man.
Here we go.
What does that got to do with the fight, man? What does that got to do with the fight? That ain't got nothing to do with the fight.
Why everybody want to see the fight if he don't put no asses in seats? Why if nobody know who Bud Crawford is? Why everybody?
The bad part about it is this, man. This door should swing both ways. You keep acting like Errol is the only motherfucker that want to be undisputed.
But
if he wants to get the belt,
the door has
what are you talking about?
What you mean? Bud Crawford has been the guy who's made all the sacrifices. He's the guy who got the belt, crossed the street, took the low ball deal. Bud Crawford has done everything. Now tell me what has Errol Spence done in order to make this fight?
What Errol Spence done was this. When PBC wanted him to fight Keith Thurman, he said, no, I want Terrence Crawford. He could have easily did what Crawford just did. He could have fought fucking Thurman.
So you talking about Earl made a sacrifice of not fighting a guy with no belt who hadn't fought in 2 years, a guy who he said 2 years ago that he wasn't going to fight. That's the sacrifice. That's what he did in order to make the Bud fight.
What I'm saying is this, man. He could have easily fought Keith Thurman. This David Avanesian dude has no belt either. What are you talking about?
He's a nobody.
It's the same shit.
Wait a second. You changing, you moving the goal. I'm saying,
yeah, that's a real
Earl Spence.
It's the same shit.
You saying that pretty much Bud is benefiting, or he's doing Bud a favor by not fighting Keith Thurman? Really? Come on,
if he's not listen, hold on. Listen, man, if he would have fucked around and did what Al Heyman wanted him to do by fighting Thurman first, you guys would have a baby. You guys would be screaming, talking about he's ducking Crawford. But by him not wanting to fight Thurman and saying, man, the only fight I want at 147 is Bud Crawford. And that's why we've gotten this far.
But do you know why? Do you know why would we screaming? Because Earl's the one who said he wanted to collect all his belts on his side of the street before he fought Bud Crawford. So then why in the hell are you fighting guys like Keith Thurman,
fellas,
Danny Garcia with no belt?
Listen, fellas, it will be a lot easier if Bud Crawford, who wants some of Charlo, who wants some of Earl, to sign a 3-fight deal with PBC. If he really want that work, but he don't. He took the business decision and did a business.
You know how stupid that sounds. That sounds so stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid. What are you talking about?
No, he's telling the truth.
That's the dumbest response.
It's some shit y'all don't want to hear.
Listen, it's not the fact. It could be the truth for you guys, but it's not the facts. See, truth depends sometimes on how you were raised, your financial situations, and other shit like that. But the facts are the facts. So yeah, he could be telling the truth on his perspective, but that's not the facts.
What's the fact?
What are the facts? What are the facts?
Fact is this: Bud made all the substantial concessions to make.
That's a lie. Why he fighting somebody else now?
If you guys are saying that Errol Spence's biggest contribution to making sure this fight was going to happen was not fighting Keith Thurman, who had no business and more than likely probably a paid for #1 position by somebody. You feel what I'm saying?
You don't know boxing. You don't know boxing. You don't know boxing.
To set up the duck, because there's no reason why Keith Thurman should be #1. What has Keith Thurman done in the last 5 years to be #1?
How do we get this far, man?
Keith Thurman.
How do we get to this
because
point?
You guys are bringing up Keith Thurman, and I'm trying to express.
Because you don't understand. You don't know boxing. You don't know boxing.
Hold on, hey. Now I just want to ask him. My point to you is this. My point to you is this, man. How did we get to this? How do we get to this point without Bob Errol? If Terrence Crawford doesn't have a promoter, he's a free agent. How did we get to negotiations if Errol Spence and the PBC didn't let him come in through the door?
Because
yeah,
man, I put it like this, like what's the name said, Tom Brown. It's the fighters at the PBC. If they want to fight, the fight will happen. If Errol Spence, if y'all still trying to take up for Errol Spence, then maybe Errol Spence, like I told Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence needs to leave the PBC because obviously he don't want the damn fight. It's been going on like.
Man, I can't believe y'all falling for it. Man, come on, stop.
Man, this shit is thing crazy. Man.
He loves getting $1.5 million. He loves getting $1.5.
Wait a second. If this fight, if Errol Spence and Bud Crawford were on top rank, can we all agree that the fight probably would have happened?
Yes.
Okay, so what are we talking about here when he says that Errol Spence, if he really want the fight, need to lead the PBC? Because Top Rank, the Zone, anybody else would have made this fight happen already.
This is the problem because Because Terrence Crawford, like Bob Arum said, is difficult to deal with.
Oh Lord,
Difficult
here
to
we go.
negotiate with.
Wait, but hold on. But don't Bud
Great
Crawford
for
got more
all
fights than both
the
Errol
terms.
Spence and everybody on the PBC stable? So if he's so difficult to deal with, how he got more fights?
Because Bob Arum, Bob Arum was the promoter. He don't got no promoter.
And
now.
more money. And more money.
And
more money.
Wow, these guys. Wow.
Come on, man. Y'all gotta be realistic.
Come on. No, y'all
Your
don't know
boy,
boxing, man.
Spence
No,
must
I ain't gonna
love.
say
He
y'all
must love
say
getting
y'all
$1.5
don't
million.
Errol Spence don't want the fight. Let's just say that. We're going on 5
Spence
years.
like that.
We're going on 5
Spence
years.
like that buddy money.
And we got excuses after
See,
5
that-
years.
Can we
That's
all
another
agree
line.
that Errol Spence is the biggest duck in professional boxing?
Hell yeah.
Bud Crawford is the biggest duck.
Here we go.
He,
Come on, bro.
he did the business duck. He took the money.
Okay,
He
so
fighting the
Errol
unknown.
Spence
But listen,
Errol Spence did 4
listen.
years of business ducking. Easy route.
He was with
Sean
PDC.
Porter got a belt too. Sean Porter got a belt too.
He's with PDC. He's with
Okay, so
PDC.
hey, listen. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. And this is what makes you guys hypocrites, man. Because
Right.
if Errol Spence was doing what was best for his business, as far as getting 3 belts, having leverage and power when it comes to Terrence Crawford. Hold on, no, yeah, hypocrites, because right now you guys are being so understanding that Crawford wants to do what's best for his business. What's the fucking difference?
Wait, hold on.
Explain
Wait a
the $1.5 million he made the last fight. Explain that. If he's such the big fish and the best fighter in the
I
welterweight
already
division.
told you.
Because hold on. Because what you're talking about is 1.5 guaranteed. He gets paid on the back end as well.
That buddy money.
Okay,
How much is that? How much is that back end? How much is that?
It depends on the sales. That's what you can't say how much. Each fight is different. Each fight is different.
But you know that fight ain't do good, right? In sales.
Pardon me? You said what?
That fight didn't do good in sales.
What fight didn't do well in sales? What are you talking about?
You said the last fight, right? The last fight, right?
Listen, man. If he got 1.5 and they didn't do well, and he snatched on another 3 million or 4 in the back end, what's the difference, man?
Oh, how you know you got 3 to 4 million in the back end?
Man, listen, man. I don't know. How do you know what they were offering Terrence Crawford from the PBC? You don't. You hear everything that you guys are talking about.
They put it out there.
Listen, everything you guys are talking about was leaked from Terrence Crawford's camp and ESPN. What are you talking about?
No. The reporters is out there. So I guess all the reporters are lying, right?
You talking about Carpenter. You talking about ESPN. Who are all the reporters you talking about?
As long as Carpenter tapping for the PBC, y'all was with it. The minute Carpenter started telling the truth, all of a sudden, this is Mike Carpenter. But
no, he's been lying from the jump, man.
But you said he been lying from the jump. You know, he was the one reporting a lot of Errol Spence's pay-per-view numbers. Did you know that?
All the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So he lying, right?
Right.
He lying, right?
Listen, if Showtime don't announce it, it's not true. You know what I'm saying? If Fox don't announce it on their website or on their YouTube page, it's not true. You can't go by somebody else who don't even work for the network to talk about their pocketbooks and their bank accounts.
Okay, so we shouldn't believe him when he reports Errol Spence's pay-per-view numbers, right? Because he was the guy reporting a lot of those numbers, so we shouldn't believe him then. So that means we don't know what Errol Spence did as far as pay-per-view. We don't know whether or not he's the bigger draw on a lot of these fights.
It's true.
How? Coppinger is the guy who was reporting a lot of those numbers.
You know what? Hey, hold on, fellas. Let's just leave money out of this.
Wow.
Let's leave money and percentage out of this.
Wow.
Let's leave the money out of this. At the end of the day, Bud Crawford did a backdoor bamboozle flam deal.
Oh my God!
That blew up the internet.
Wow.
Hey,
and he did a business duck.
See, Reggie co-signed 4 to 5 years of ducking, but all of a sudden he want to accuse
Bud of ducking. Right, but Reggie, this is Reggie and for the other brother there, Sean T. The question for you, fam.
I'm listening.
How long should Bud Crawford have to wait on Errol Spence Jr. in order to get the fight done? Because we know it's already been a year since he's been a free agent. So how much longer should Bud Crawford have to wait before you're good with him moving on to another fight?
I think that Bud Crawford should take whatever deal it is, since he's the one who said that when a fighter really wants to make a fight, money is not an issue.
But you didn't answer the question though. He took the deal, but first of all, he took the deal. Right?
How did he take the deal? And he's fighting somebody else.
They don't want to get a man. They don't want to get a man transparency on the thing.
And then they moved the fight back.
Then you know what that means.
And then again, they moved the fight back. Why didn't the fight happen in November?
Hold on, man. You asking a bunch now. Dig this, man. How is it that this dude wants transparency, but he's making a backdoor fucking deal without being transparent?
Oh my God,
that's a lot of nerve.
You know, good man.
The Errol Spence not tweet out. I'm fighting on November 19th or without Crawford. The Errol Spence not mention that. The Errol Spence not tweet. He's going to fight on November 19th with or without Crawford. Did he not mention that a long time ago?
Well, actually, that came from boxing scenes. That didn't come from Errol Spence. That was boxing scenes reporting that.
But they quoted somebody saying that, right? If they quote somebody saying that, Errol Spence said it.
Okay, let's say Errol. Let's say Errol said that. Let's say Errol said that.
No, not let's say.
Okay, Errol said it. Hold on. Errol said that. So he said it. But goddamn it, did he say it when he thought the fight was still happening with Terrence Crawford? What the fuck? I mean, I'm confused.
He said that in the middle of the negotiation.
Or without. Those are key words when you make a statement. You have key words, things that are called verbs, noun, adjectives. They let you know the person's intent. With or without is an action word. It's a word of intent. He stated a name. I'm fighting, gave a time.
Right. So guess what? If you want to go that route,
what route?
Hold on. Let me finish. If they sent a revised contract, meaning Terrence Crawford didn't like the previous one, and they revised it, and now time is going on, and the revised fucking contract is for February, that's showing they still was trying to lock Terrence Crawford in. They didn't hear from Terrence Crawford. They didn't hear from him. And the next thing they heard is that he's fighting David Evanesian.
Listen, revised contract was for a $5 million guarantee, 35%, still 35% of the net, and no, they removed the rematch that in the original one that said even in the rematch you're still the B side. They removed the rematch, said we removed the rematch and give you $5 million as a guarantee, but you ain't got no rematch. It's a one-shot deal.
So what? If Crawford has all the confidence he's gonna wash this boy, who gives a fuck about a rematch clause? What are we talking about?
Man, hey, I just want I want to say real
because
quick.
he takes home shitty ass money and he's looking to make some of it back.
Y'all just don't want to look at
let me say this real quick, because I know y'all like to try to say he was doing a backdoor deal, which is not true. They talked to David Evanesian, manager, and when they asked him, they said, how long did it take the negotiations? He said 48 hours, meaning that they didn't even talk prior to this whole time that y'all thought.
That's not true. That's not true. They tried to get Evanesian around the same time that he was about to fight Ugas. Mention that part.
Evanesian manager, it came out his own mouth. He said,
"Hey, you know how I know? You know how I know this fight was made last minute? Because Evanesian had a fight scheduled already. It was on BoxRec. So clearly they made the fight in a very short period of time.
Clearly, this was a deal that was bought.
Clearly.
And I bet he gonna make more money than Spence made too. He gonna make more money than what Spence made last night.
Let's leave money out of this. Let's leave the money out.
Hold on. Here go the thing though, right? So he made this money he made this fight in a short amount of time. Yeah,
I don't believe that. That's a lie, man.
Hold on,
Come on, fellas.
You could have went to Boxer. I wish I would have screenshot it. Evanesian had a fight that was scheduled. for November, if I'm not mistaken.
It was November the 19th. Yeah.
Okay, so then they made this fight in a short period of time. And the thing about that I want to add to that is that it took 48 hours for this fight to get done. But Bud has been negotiating with Errol Spence and Team Errol Spence for a year.
That's
how
a
do you
liar.
know?
Year.
How do you know how long it took for this fight to get made?
Right.
I know it's still not made.
But how do you? Here's the deal, man. Listen, to come up with $10 million, that means they were already to come up with a venue. They already were planning this. This shit ain't happening in no 48 hours.
That's
hold on,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, but why? Wait. Here's what I'm trying to figure out. Why is 10 million such an absorbent number? Do you not know Caleb Plant made $10 million when he fought Canelo?
They jealous of another black man making 8 figures. That's
that
what
had nothing to do with it.
Stop. Jealous of what?
I mean,
listen, man. Here's what the crazy part is. Here's what the crazy part is. Here's what the crazy part is. For years, the Crawford fans have been saying that the Spence fans don't want this fight and Spence don't want it. The Spence fans are the ones who are upset that Terrence Crawford pulled this move. You guys okay with it?
It's fake rage. It's fake. It's fake rage.
Doing the past 4 years.
Can I just say this?
Terrence Crawford needs to fight Kell Brooks. He needs to fight Sean Porter. That's Spence fans right there. For the past 4 years, telling Terrence Crawford need to fight these people first.
That's not true.
But let me try to explain it to homie
but like I told you earlier, fellas, out of Terrence Crawford's mouth, he said, I do not need Errol Spence. I'm already in the Hall of Fame. That's enough right there to tell you I'm not going to negotiate in true 100% all in it.
My God.
I'm gonna keep all my options open.
Really? What about when Errol Spence said that undisputed it don't matter. It don't really mean that much no more. And I can still be a Hall of Famer without being undisputed. Even though we've been waiting the last 4 years for him to collect all his belts on his side of the street.
Who got it?
Hold on. Hey, my brother. And how about when Akin Barak asked Terrence Crawford if they offer you 50-50, would you accept the fight? And he said, I don't know.
Oh, you talking about hey, but here go the thing though.
50-50. So what are we talking about?
They always accepted 35%. So that done killed that narrative you just pulled up right there. He accepted 35%.
You don't know if it was 35%. Crawford ain't saying it was 35%.
Hey, but by you saying you don't know, and by you saying you don't know if that's true or not, or questioning it, essentially you saying that if it is true, then that means that Errol Spence is ducking. Essentially, that's what you're saying when you question the validity of what he's saying.
I don't understand how somebody ducking when the fighter who's got 3 belts want to fight a fighter with 1 belt, and he's ducking. And he don't even
Wilder, Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua was offered $50 million. He said he's not selling his belts. That's how a fighter with 3 belts ducks a fighter with 1 belt.
No, I'm talking about the fighter.
You talking about something different. I'm sorry.
No,
I answer that question, Reggie.
Y'all personal and stuff, man.
So check this out, Reggie. Why you saying a 3 belt want the 1 belt fighter? How come when it was a 1 belt fighter wanting another 1 belt fighter, the other 1 belt fighter said easy route? Why not fight Sean Porter first? You know,
y'all gotta quit going back in time. Y'all gotta quit going back in time, fellas.
This man talking about he got to clean up the side of his street.
And he devalued himself. He said $100,000. How much you want to bet? $100,000. He said, let's bet $1 million. Come on, man. He undervalued himself every time.
You talking about
He also told Errol Spence he said when I beat you, y'all gonna say he was too weak and everything else and should have moved up. Look what Errol Spence talking about now. Oh man, I'm having a hard time making weight. Already putting in the
doing it for 10 years. The body has a certain way of doing things when you do it for that amount of time, 10 years. It's called muscle memory. So the body would be used to going up and down.
It's actually called muscle memory retention. But okay,
regardless of actual, what I'm saying
technical on
what I'm saying is this.
Yeah, no, because he was trying to cheat.
Has never looked like Devin Haney in the last weight thing with some of the pictures, and his so-called making his weight is too tough.
That's not
You
true.
look like
That's
that
not
again.
true. He's looked drained plenty of times. He looked drained
Plenty of
before
times.
Kell Brook. You understand what I'm saying? He's looked drained because at the time he was going up too far and too much in weight. He was having to drop 30 and 35 pounds. He's
That's
not
his
doing that anymore.
fault. That's him going up and drinking. Alcohol got a way of putting weight on you, bro.
Okay, but we're not
Man,
doing that
look.
anymore. We're not doing that anymore. So now what?
Y'all
Man,
really
the
think he
thing,
stopped drinking? Y'all think he stopped drinking?
yeah.
No.
I don't give a damn if he drinks or not. What difference does that make?
Wow.
Listen, man, listen. Here's the
Your
deal,
fight
man.
ain't your fight
Here's
ain't
the deal.
disciplined. He ain't
Here's the
disciplined.
deal. You ever heard of Frankie Randall? Any of you guys?
Yeah.
I heard,
Yeah.
Y'all heard of
What
them
was Frankie
Chavez.
Randall known for?
He beat Chavez.
He beat the hell out of Chavez,
drinking.
but he was known to drink before each fight. So who gives a damn about the drinking part? If you want to talk about De La Hoya, he was a cocaine addict. Motherfucking Sugar Ray
Chavez
Leonard,
was also a
cocaine
drinker
head.
too. Chavez was also a drinker too, so that defeats that
Tyson,
narrative.
cocaine head.
Thomas
So
Hearns.
Chavez
I
was a
said
drinker
Mike
too.
Tyson. I
all
didn't
these
say
guys,
Tyson
all
Fury.
these guys have their vices. You understand? Spencer's the motherfucker that drank and damn near killed himself. Okay, there it is. He learned his lesson.
And the thing about it, if
He definitely learned his
everybody,
lesson. He learned how to stay out of danger. That's why we ain't see this Bud Crawford fight.
no, the thing about it, if Earl
crazy.
Spence would have had a fight announced and the date set, y'all would have been so upset, calling Earl Spence a duck and everything under the sun.
Wait. Say that again. Say that again.
Y'all would be upset if Earl Spence would announce a date and a fight with another opponent and Bud Crawford was left high and dry. Y'all would be calling Earl Spence everything under the sun, a duck, a coward, chicken, all this and that.
Definitely.
Hey, Reggie, we've been calling Earl Spence a duck for the past 4 years. So what are you talking about here?
Exactly.
Exactly.
But
It don't make
here's
no-
the
it
deal.
don't make no
Hold on. But here's the deal. You have been calling him a duck for the longest because he's been doing what the PBC wanted him to do. Now that Terrence
Oh, I thought
Crawford
he
is
was
doing
his
what
own boss.
now that
I thought he was his own boss.
Now
He's
that
the
Terrence
boss.
Crawford is doing something his best interest, is that not a duck?
No.
Hold on. Earl Spence said he was his
Exactly,
own
because
boss.
it's
You
Terrence
just
Crawford.
said the
You
man
trying to
doing what
blame the
PBC
PBC?
wanted him to do. Errol Spence is the boss. How the fuck is the boss doing what the employees want him to do?
Earl
Yeah,
Spence
I
is
mean,
not
Earl
the
Spence said he
boss.
was the boss in that meeting. He said,
Earl
"I'm my own
Spence is
boss."
not the
And then he
boss.
picked up his cell phone and said, "Hey, me call my boss." Oh, that's me. So why
He-
didn't Earl
Earl-
Spence make a boss
Earl
move? all
Spence is
these
not
years?
the boss. Al Heyman
But Earl
called
Spence
the
said he was
shot.
the boss. Earl
He's
Spence
not.
said he was the boss.
He's not.
So Earl
Trust
Spence
me.
been lying. So
Al
now you believe
Heyman.
Earl Spence is
You
Al
calling
Heyman is the
hold
boss.
on, wait a second. You calling Tom Brown a
It's the
liar?
fighters. It's always the fighters. When they ask for something and it's a fight that can be made, we're gonna go do it.
I don't know who that guy is.
That's Tom Brown of the PBC.
Oh, come on.
Well,
You don't know who that
you know
guy
what you
is?
should do? You should keep playing what's the rest of it. When Crawford says, "Wait a minute, can you say that again?" If a fighter really wants a fight, then the fight will be made. Don't have nothing to do with no money.
Yeah.
Okay, so why didn't Earl Spence make the fight?
I'm gonna say like you making my point right now.
No, why Crawford didn't make the fight? What are you talking about? He's the
Hey,
motherfucker.
we got 4 years. We got 4 years of
But
footage.
Crawford's the one that's been wanting to fight this entire
Crawford
time.
is the one who's coming to the table without a promoter. He's coming to the table with lawyers who he don't even fucking trust.
Wait. What happened to Blame Bob? What happened to the Blame Bob and Top Rank is a problem? Bob is a
That's
problem.
the
to work
first
with.
4 years. That's
Other
the
side
first
of the
4
street.
years. That's the first 4 years.
What
We
you mean that's
talking
the
about
first
what
4 years?
happened. We talking about what happened
He
since.
said, hold on. Listen, let me answer that. Can I answer that?
Go ahead.
My man said, what happened to Blame Bob? You know when that hashtag came out? That hashtag came out when Spence got the Pacquiao fight. He was saying blame Bob for not getting the Pacquiao fight. That's what that was about.
So what about when Earl Spence did that interview and he said that he fight for Fox and Showtime and that Bud Crawford's on the other side of the street and that fight ain't gonna be able to happen? What about that?
Man, that was 20
he
years
fought
ago.
Chris
Let it go.
Algieri, man. Chris
He
Algieri.
said the fight wasn't gonna be able to happen. Is that what you just said?
He said
that's not what not what he said. What Errol Spence said was, I'm gonna get these 3 belts and I'm coming after the 4th.
He said
and
that
that's what happened.
said that after he said Bud was on the other side of the street.
That
and
was
that
20
fight came
years
out.
ago. Let it go. Let it go.
20 years ago, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Come on,
bro. That
man.
wasn't 20 years ago, man. That was about 5 years ago. That was
That's
right around the
crazy.
time that was right around when
Hey,
the ducking began.
can I
Right
ask
around the
a
time.
hypothetical question? Can I ask a very hypothetical? And can you guys be honest?
Sure.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say Terrence Crawford didn't come out and say he was fighting David, whatever the fuck his name is. Let's say he didn't do that, right? And let's say he was still in negotiations supposedly, and Errol Spence came out and said, "Hey, I'm gonna fight Stanionis on the 19th," and left Bud hanging. What would you guys be saying?
I
Be
said,
honest.
Okay.
let me go.
I'm listening.
Let me go
who
first.
said back in April? Who said
I'm
on April
listening.
16th?
I'm listening.
Who said on April 16th? I want Terrence Crawford next. Who said that?
April
No,
16th.
I'm
What are
going
you?
to answer this hypothetical.
April 16th was the fight
We
he
talking
had
about
with
right now.
Ugas.
Come on, we
Look,
talking about right now.
Hey,
but I
hold
said-
on, real quick. By the way, Truly Israel became the sponsor of the show with the $9.99 super chat. I forgot to say that earlier. Go ahead. What y'all,
All right,
what y'all think?
but here's what I would say.
Mhm.
Can you ask the question because we got distracted, and I just want to make sure I answer.
Okay,
No,
so
I
here's
answered that question.
the question. Here's
I
the
answered
question. The question is, if we had no knowledge of Crawford moving,
and Errol said he's fighting Thurman. I would
no,
point.
I said let's say he wanted to fight Stanionis, Thurman, whoever the fuck,
Stanionis.
instead of not fighting Bud.
Okay,
He
I would
decided
say
to take another fight first. What would you say?
this. I would say this. Then Errol kept his word in the tweet he sent out and said, he's fighting with or without. Bud needs to find somebody else. I would be pissed off. You feel what I'm saying? I would be listening to
I'll tell you my answer
like
right
that
here.
and
I'm listening. Because why would you be mad? I'm listening.
If the PBC was procrastinating exactly the same way they did now, and Earl took the other step, of course that's a duck, man. We got 4 years of ducking from Earl Spence, and if he back
Man,
out
let
again,
that go,
that's more
man.
ducking. That's
Let that
history
go.
of ducking.
Let it go.
Year
Yeah,
one,
man.
year two,
No, it's
year
only
three,
been 8
year
months.
4, and we all going on year 5. Duck.
See, but the problem is this, man, and y'all got to keep it 100. Y'all keep talking about 4 years. Has anything happened in 4 years to stall all this shit?
Nothing to stall it. Earl Spence was the one who ducked. That's
Right.
what it's all
So he should have flipped his car over, got out of the hospital bed. Come on, Terrence Crawford, let's fight right away, right?
When did he flip his car over? What year was that?
Right.
What was that 2020?
It was like the end of 2019. The end of 2019.
Okay,
Right,
2019.
By that time,
Yeah, it was a week. It was a week after. It was a week after he fought Porter.
Okay, 2019. He got in a car accident. We went into.
But they fought on my birthday.
Okay, and we went into like a year of probably hardly no boxing with the pandemic, right? Right? Or a little more, right?
Yeah.
So where are we coming from that this 4 year shit? I'm confused.
Okay, I tell you where we coming from. Because after he recovered, right? Did he not show up at a Canelo Alvarez fight saying he's here because he want to fight Canelo? That was after the car accident, right?
Well, after the car accident, if you want to keep it 100, what Terrence Crawford said is, I don't want to fight the man right now. I don't want any excuses. Let him fight
it didn't matter
another
anyway.
fight. Let him fight a tune-up.
What did Earl Spence say? He said he want to fight Canelo, and he said if we're going to make that happen, Terrence Crawford going to have to take that 60-40, 70-30, or whatever we decide to give him. And then on top of that, later on, the beginning of 2021, this man hopped on on Twitter or Instagram and said, "Oh, don't make me 80-20 a nigga." You don't remember that?
That was when he was on his girlfriend's live. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. And he was talking shit. Yeah, he was talking. And then what did he do? Hold on. And what did he do after that? Did the man not come out and say, hey, man, I was wrong for speaking percentages in public, and you won't hear anything else from me? And guess what? He held true to his shit. It's Crawford's camp who's been coming out with these percentages and all this other bullshit.
Oh, really? So Crawford said, hey, Spence, you need to take a 60-40, 70-30, or whatever we decide to give you? That's what Crawford said?
No, Crawford said, if anything, I'm going to take 60, and he's going to get 40.
Okay, but why did Crawford
That's
say
what
that?
happened.
No, why did he say that, though?
That was the rebuttal to Errol Spence talking shit. He was talking shit.
So you can't blame Crawford if somebody reacts to what you put out. You can't sit up there and say, "Oh, well, that's on Terrence Crawford. He said I should get the 60%." Terrence Crawford wasn't even talking
You
about
asking me a
percentages
question. I wasn't saying it's Terrence Crawford's fault. I'm just bringing to the light both motherfuckers talking shit.
But
That's all I'm saying.
who mentioned percentages first?
Man, listen, man. Listen. None of that shit. You know what matters, man? We got to this point right here, and we're not getting our fight. And some people are cool with Terrence Crawford fighting this bomb, and some people aren't. Now, whatever happens after this, we don't know if we ever gonna get this fight.
Oh, why you gotta be a bum? Ain't you a top 10 rank?
I mean, you know what's
welterweight?
so crazy? They
Man,
were
listen,
cool
man.
with Errol
Listen,
cool with
man.
Errol Spence fighting a lightweight.
He is fighting a dude. He's fighting a dude that he already stopped. The guy he stopped this guy. What the fuck? Does that make sense?
Wait, hold on. Didn't Errol Spence just beat Ugas, who was a guy who just lost to Sean Porter, who's a guy that Bud Crawford stopped?
What he did was he fought a guy who just beat Pacquiao, the guy he was supposed to be fighting for that belt.
Okay,
and
but
he said he wanted to fight for that belt.
Okay, but Ugas got 4 losses, and Ugas lost to Sean Porter, who was a guy that Bud Crawford stopped. So we're gonna sit here and call a top 10 welterweight a bum. We gotta stop that, because if anything, Ugas will be considered in the same category as a bum.
Hey man, so you say this dude is an elite fighter, man? Are you serious?
He ain't no bum, but he's a top 10 welterweight.
Hold on, is Ugas an elite fighter?
Right.
Definitely. Did he not beat Pacquiao? What are you talking about?
Oh, he beat Pacquiao.
Hold on. And arguably, he arguably beat Sean Porter as well.
Hold up, but he beat a senior citizen, and that's what you gonna go with that? That's not the same prime package.
That's the same senior citizen that both Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford were chasing.
Because it's
same senior citizen that beat Keith Thurman.
But here's the thing: Crawford wanted to fight Pacquiao when Pacquiao was in his prime. See, that's the part you don't want to touch.
That's the first
Crawford
time
wanted to fight him when he was in his prime.
Yeah, Crawford been trying to fight.
We talking about like 7 years of history. Crawford been wanting to fight Pacquiao for the past 7 years.
Crawford been chasing supposedly, but guess what? When Crawford had a chance to sign on that contract to fight Pacquiao, he refused to sign it.
Because it wasn't hold on. Let's tell that whole story, because a lot of Errol Spence fans like to only tell little bits and pieces of the story. There was no money on the table. How you gonna fight for no money? Is anybody gonna work for free around here? I just show of hands. If there's no money on the table, then how you gonna fight?
Coming out of the top rank camp, they were saying that Bud was gonna get 10 million and Pacquiao was gonna get 40. What do you mean no money on the table?
He agreed to the deal, but there was no proof of funds. There was no money that was ever put in the escrow account in order for the fight to happen.
Bro, that's not what happened. Bomac said what happened. Bomac said he did not want to sign the top rank for another 3 fights. They ain't got nothing to do with any money.
No, he said it was no proof of funds.
There was no proof of funds. That's what the problem was.
Bomac was on BFTV and he said out his mouth that, hey, I advised Crawford not to sign the contract because we didn't want to get locked in for another 3 fights with top rank.
He ain't said that. I watched that same live. I know exactly
what he say. What he say?
No, the main thing that came up is they start talking about why didn't he go the IBF route, and Bomac said we went the WBO route, and then they try to say, oh, easy route, but see, they ain't finished the whole story because.
But you're not finishing the whole story. You're not. Hold on. No. Let me put you on the right track. What they asked him about was, why did you want to fight Jeff Horn first instead of trying to fight somebody else who had a belt? And that's when Bomac said, hey, it was easier. Bomac said it was easier to do business within top rank.
No. Do you understand that you cannot move up and wait and immediately challenge for the IBF? You know that, right?
Listen to what.
And then
that's not what the question was. He asked him, why didn't he try to fight any of the other champions?
He tried, man. They told him to challenge any of the other champions except for the WBO organization. That's the only organization that allows a unified or undisputed champ to move up.
Okay. Okay. So here's my question to all of you guys, especially my man who just got through talking. Well, why didn't Bomac simply just say that? If that's the truth.
All right,
Hold on. And my man who said that he heard it, you heard that. Why didn't he just say that? If that's the
all right, let me answer this question for you.
Because he's
what happened? Hold on. What happened after Terrence Crawford won Undisputed? What happened? Can you tell me exactly what happened after he won Undisputed?
You tell me. What do you mean? What happened? He moved up to fight Jeff Horn.
You ain't got the answer, Sway? All right, so let me tell you what happened with the IBF joint. He had to relinquish his belt because they automatically smacked the mandatory on Terrence Crawford. So he relinquished the belt.
That's true. That's
before
true.
he actually moved up. So he couldn't. So this whole why he ain't go to IBF route. Not to mention, Errol Spence told that man, him and Keith Thurman, Terrence Crawford need to get a belt first.
That's a lie, man. Why y'all keep lying? Bro, that's a lie.
You ain't watched
That's a lie. That's a lie. Thurman is the only dude that said, "Hey, the boy is unproven. He needs to go get a belt first." That's what he said.
Errol Spence said that on ESPN.
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. He did not say that.
Video.
He told it to Shaq. He was sitting there with a bunch of basketball players. And
that's not what he said. He said when he gets that
y'all need
belt.
to find that video. I remember him saying that. Find that
He
video,
said
please.
when he gets that belt. Now go ahead.
Video, right, David?
Yeah, tell him to pull it up. Tell him to pull it up.
Hey, David, pull that video up when Errol Spence was on ESPN.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Yep. And listen to the words. He said when he gets that belt. When. Not no go get a belt.
When he gets that belt. He said when he gets that belt.
Go ahead. No. My man said he said go get a belt. Now come on, let's do it.
Now this dude trying to change the words up. When
I'm going with what he said. He said go get a belt. Come on.
He can make it happen. So
play the video. Play the video.
Hold on, I got you. Give me a moment. Let me find it. Y'all keep talking while I'm looking for it.
He's one of those guys that like to play with the definition of words.
No, I'm not one of them guys. But if you say something, mean it.
So what is said is also meant when you look at its intent. So
man, listen, man. Go get a belt means go get a belt. But if somebody says when he gets a belt, that's different.
When he go get a belt, we can consider it.
When he gets the belt, and in that same interview with ESPN, they asked him who did he favor to win that fight with Crawford and Horn, and he said Bud should win. So why would he tell him to go get a belt when he's already saying the man is getting a belt?
He wants Bud to win, so they can get a unified fight going.
Come on, play it, man. Let's hear it.
Since you think that Errol Spence never say go get a belt first, why didn't Errol Spence deny it when Terrence Crawford brought it to his face? Wait till he get a belt. And the answer came out of Errol Spence's mouth. Sean Porter got a belt too.
Bro, we talking now. Come on, man. Let's play the ESPN thing, man.
So hold on, real quick before we play that.
Yeah.
Wait till he get a belt. Yeah. He ain't did nothing.
Errol Spence just admitted that he said wait till he get a belt. So what are we talking about? Right?
What we talking about is the ESPN interview.
We're gonna go to that too, but I just wanted to play that one first so we can get clarity on it. But here we go. Here go the ESPN one.
Come on.
Yes.
You know, that's why it's gonna happen. Hopefully he beats Jeff Horn and gets that belt. And like I said, I want to be undisputed welterweight champion of the world.
No, keep playing it. Keep playing it.
Nah, that's all I got. That's the only clip I got. I cut it out right there.
Right.
But he essentially says he wants Terrence Crawford to get a belt.
Okay, but you only playing snippets, man. That's why the interview is much longer than that.
I mean, he said what he said.
You picked out what was good.
You trying to get context and allegorical meanings, and you trying to draw inferences.
The news does that. Everybody does that.
This is what he said. This is what he said.
I tell you what.
When Terrence Crawford said that, he said,
"Look, we got to teach basic English up in here."
You don't have to teach anything. What I'm saying is, if
You
a
know, that's
dude
probably
is
gonna
saying
happen.
already,
Hopefully
if my
he
man
beats
is,
Jeff Horn and gets that belt.
Mhm.
And like I said, I want to
yeah,
be undisputed welterweight champion of the world.
okay. So what are you talking about? He didn't say go get a belt. What are you talking about? He already knew he was going to beat Jeff Horn. I'm confused.
So what the point of that, I think maybe the clip of that of him showing that to you is to say Errol Spence said at that point that he hopes Terrence Crawford wins that fight because Errol Spence wants to be undisputed champion in the world. So you would kind of figure that
He fell off.
if he wins, Errol Spence is going to call him out or some shit like that so they can get that fight going.
He fell off.
Hold on a second, y'all. We got another super chat from my guy Truly Israel. Salute to you, fam, with the $9.99 super chat. He says, I hear a lot of people talking about Al Heyman, and is he going to negotiate with Crawford after this? Does it matter if Spence is his own boss? If it doesn't matter, this will prove Spence is not a boss. Well said, Truly Israel. Well said. I mean, Errol said he's his own boss. We got Wilder saying that Al don't hold back his fighters from things. So it shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't matter. Just like you said, Truly Israel. But y'all go ahead.
I was just trying to let homeboy know that, you know, it is what it is. You could say what you want, but at the end of the day, bro, you know, Bud Crawford is the only one that made substantial strides on making this fight. Errol ain't did shit, and to try to say Errol's biggest contribution to making this fight is him not fighting Keith Thurman, you feel me, is some bullshit. We all, you know, like I said, the guy wants to take certain things literal, but not take accountability for Errol's actions. But you want to take everything literal that disputes Errol Spence, but you don't want to take what Errol Spence said himself to any sort of accountability. It's not, he did what he said. It's not, it's this, it's not, it's that, it's yada, yada, yada. So it's just like, come on, man. Come on. Come on. Either you're going to talk honest about the guy that you want to support and you want win the fight, or you really shouldn't you shouldn't talk about him at all because you put him in a worse light as a fan than you do, you know, as a fan. Because it's like if you're a fan of this guy, you know, a true fan and you're a fan of boxing first, then you'll call out what's fucked up, but you'll still rock with him. You can easily say, nah, yeah, I rocks with y'all. Yeah, my dude kind of ducked this shit, you know, for a minute, but you know, he was trying to make the fight, you know, because at the time maybe he didn't feel like he had the skill set to make it happen, you know, to beat him at that time, and he needed to see different looks because Bud is not a look that you can, you know, match with someone else coming in sparring because you don't know how this dude is going to approach you. So you want to get a lot of different looks, get your experience up, and then tackle this big fight. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if these guys were honest like that and pure boxing fans, fine, it's okay, cool. AJ's telling people he's not looking to fight Tyson Fury. They want him to have more looks, get his mind back, get back in the ring, you know, get back in the winning bracket, and then go at it later. There's nothing wrong with that. But these guys just want to believe into the narrative that, you know, this man is the superhero. He's Errol King Spence Jr. And it's like, come the fuck on, man. This man is gonna lose eventually. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's just call it for what it is.
Hey, hold on, real quick. AC, damn, we got some people ran up out of here. Where Reggie at? Where Sean T at? Them boys gone?
Yeah, they couldn't.
Yo, man.
Oh wait,
They
running like Spence, man.
Yo, they ducking.
Yo, what's up, Boxer Die, man? Salute to you and your channel, man.
What's
Everybody
going on
hit
with you,
that.
fam? Detail the truth, man. What's on your mind, fam?
Hey, man, I just jumped in, man, because I'm hearing all these narratives. And, you know, yes, I'm a Crawford fan, but I want to put this out there. Man, when we sit up, for example, I know that's what they want, but we choose to listen to what sources we want to listen to and believe the ones we want to believe and don't believe the ones we don't want to believe. So it's kind of like nonsense to keep going back and forth. But one thing that I am going to say, I just want everybody to use their logical, you know, sense. Think about this. The key thing, if you go back and look where Earl tweeted in that boxing scene, I think the biggest thing in there that everybody overlooks, I try to research things and try to make sense because I don't believe a person show you who they are, they're going to keep moving the same way. Now, you can cover it up, you can try, but you know, as this world goes and the more technology we get, you'll slip sooner or later. It's like first 48 on this bitch, you know? And this is what I'll say. If you do your math, think about everything what happening here. They say Buzz being difficult. Buzz says, I agreed to the bullshit. Okay, he says he's agreed to the bullshit. There's a rumor going around that he went at Blue Blood and said, why you don't tell these folks that I'm the only one trying to make this fight? Okay, let's just use our senses here now. Okay, the negotiation started in June. And I'm going to tell y'all what that key word is. Negotiation started in June. Now, Bud ran around sitting up saying, I'm the only one trying to make this fight and getting mad at Blue Blood. Okay, now, let's think about that. Why is he saying he signed everything and he the only one trying to make the fight and Errol ain't doing nothing and he went to talk to Al Heyman? Now, Errol puts out a phone call. Apparently, he was in Disney World when he got back from Disney World. So you've been negotiating from June. Y'all know what the problem is with the thing that he tweeted? It had no deadline. The negotiations had no deadline. Think about that. Who does a negotiation contract that wants and is the A side and just gonna give you whenever you want? No, you corrected your things, but I'm gonna give it back to you whenever I'm ready to fight. There's no deadline.
Right.
So you send your shit, go watch the Dan Raphael video. They return on October the 6th. They already knew. Bud told him at the beginning that he's gonna fight this year. He's gonna fight this year. So they just held it. They just held it and just held it. And then on October the 6th, they sent it back and said, we agree to all your terms. Guess what? The fight was going to be in February. So I ain't even here to bash Earl. I'm just saying, think about what y'all saying when you try to bash Crawford. If the man was going to fight, sound like to me, he held out long as he could. Because you get to October, if you get to October, how the fuck I'm gonna fight the next month in less than 30 days? The 19th, that's in the middle of the month.
With no promotion.
No promotion, no nothing. How was that fight gonna happen? And like I said, you choose your sources when you want to believe, you choose your sources when you don't want to believe. But Florida's already on records telling you, I don't give a damn who you is. If you work with Al, you can't say you don't work with Floyd.
Right.
And he said it ain't happening this year.
And he about to fight again.
But you choose. That's what I say. You choose. And then they'll sit up and say, well, Bob said on Crawford was difficult to deal with. They run with that narrative. Okay. But if he's a truth teller, let's keep it truth. He also said, I told Crawford Earl doesn't want the fight. So he lying on one side, but he telling the truth. If he a liar, he always a liar. See, that's what I don't understand. Niggas move when they want to move and choose what sources they want to have. So that's the problem I have with the whole thing. But at the same time, if the dude fighting in February and he done just set up and told you, go read the damn ESPN thing. What changed? What changed? Like I said, you can keep hiding, but technology is going to keep catching you. If you call this nigga a duck, listen, if I take that, because I'm gonna help these Errol fans. Crawford is a duck. Let's say that, okay? Let's say Crawford a duck. But check this out. If the nigga was finna sit up and fight at 147 in February, why he can't make weight now?
Right. Makes sense.
No, the nigga tweeted everything he tweeted was just to build some more doors around his house to run out the front door, side door, back door. Nigga just wake up in the morning.
Control.
Who the fuck wake up in the morning on the same day that this nigga announced his fight and say, I've been at this weight for a day. Nigga, you been at that weight since your ass was an amateur.
Exactly.
You ain't never went nowhere. So why you gotta move now? Don't play with me, man. That's why I say niggas gonna think what they want to think. But hey, I'll give you what you want. We'll take that. Let's say it's a duck, but don't sit up and call that nigga no duck and not watch this nigga run. Because that nigga, you know why he said this shit ain't easy and it ain't fun? Let me tell y'all what's going on. He waiting on Boots to get him a fight. Then when Boots get him a fight, he gonna fight there. If Boots don't fight nobody, he ain't fighting nobody. Unless he move up. Watch. You can't change on me, man. When a person show you who they are who they are, bro.
You know, he cooking, bro. Who you think he gonna fight if he fight in February, supposedly?
No, let me tell you what's gonna happen, bro. He gonna call out because they've been calling out for it. He say he don't want to fight him, but he know that's the easy route. He gonna take Keith Thurman because Keith Thurman ain't fought in fucking a year, and when he did fight, he fought a 140 pounder. He ain't fought nobody. So you know what Keith gonna say? I need a tune-up. And that's going to give him the reason to go fight some nigga with probably about like 8 losses, 6 losses. You niggas be sitting up thinking that Errol is this boogeyman and talk about Crawford record. But meanwhile, see, I give it to you how it is, bro. All them niggas over there for me, no offense, I do like Sean Porter. He the only one who took the real risk to do it. The rest of them niggas, and even Sean Porter to a certain extent, man, them niggas full of shit. That's what fucked the whole welterweight division up. Them niggas, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, and Sean Porter been acting like they some fucking elite welterweights over everybody else, fighting each other, not giving nobody else no opportunity, and now Boots there and all them niggas, oh, I'm going up. I retired. Oh, I'm injured. He ain't never sent the country. All them niggas got excuses. Ain't nothing changed.
Exactly. They don't want to burn, man.
Somebody, let me add the last one. Like I said, the only niggas that they fought was each other. Other than that, tell me who they beat. Because when Keith got in there with fucking an old ass Pacquiao, he got beat. That's why I just told somebody and they argued with me. The best win on Spence resume is Ugas. He the only nigga that ain't in that little clique. Ugas is the best win on their resume, and that nigga had 6 losses.
Yep. Hey, I just want to say this, man. You dropped the gem, man. The part where you just said Errol Spence is waiting on Boots Ennis to get a fight before he could decide if he want to fight or not. Yo, I ain't even think about that shit.
That's
man.
why he put, hey, dude, who wakes up in the morning and say, and put it out there on Twitter? Show me a fighter that said I'm having problems with even Shakur left. He didn't tweet that shit. He didn't tweet no shit like that before the fight. Nigga, that's a duck move.
Yep.
Just like Dev didn't tweet nothing like that, and you saw it in Dev that he
but he ain't tweeted.
Hey, hold on real quick, y'all. Hold on. I got a few super chats I gotta read real quick, man. And then I gotta wrap it up. So truly Israel coming through with a $1.99 super chat. He say dropped another super chat for the Errol Spence fan. Oh yeah. Salute to you, truly Israel, the sponsor of the show. Appreciate you, my guy. And then we got another one.
Salute you, bro. I'm out of here, man. I ain't want to hold you up. I seen what y'all was cooking on, man. It's a lot of bad stuff going on around here. But like I say, neither here and there. It ain't nothing to sit up and blame him. But all I'm saying is, hey man, let's keep it real. If you move one way, you don't just flip over tomorrow night and you some different dude. Let's just keep it real. Peace out. I'm out, man.
Peace out, my guy.
Hey yo, before you go, hey man, if you don't mind, I want to clip that line you just said earlier, man, and put it on my page if you don't mind.
Hey man, you can say whatever you want to say because anything I sit up and say, that's another thing. I like to get what come out of their mouth. Because see, like I said, technology, a motherfucker, you'll catch him. You'll catch him. Go pull that boxing scene. Everybody reading about what he's saying. I sent this and did this. Go back and read that damn thing. It's on Errol's Twitter account. The key word in there is no negotiation deadline. So I'm gonna play with you. You ain't even got no network, bro. You can't fight nowhere else. Nigga, you was finna be fighting in February. You was finna get in the ring after damn near a year and a half and not being in the ring. Come on now. Use common sense, bro.
Hey, preaching to the choir over here, man. Let me read this other super chat here, man. And hey, I appreciate you for coming on through Details of Truth. And I'm finna wrap it up after this right here. My guy Podcast say this is the only channel that keep it real when it come to Crawford. The other channels be dragging my guy name through the mud. Yeah, bro. Even some of the pro Bud channels, the ones that understand the situation, they be flip-flopping a little bit, man. I really don't get it. But appreciate you, Podcast, for coming on through with that $9.99 super chat, man. Hey, you must have got paid today, Podcast. It's a few people. Few of y'all done got paid today, man. Appreciate y'all though for the super chats, man. They go a long way, man. But yeah, man, I'm finna wrap the show up. Let me start with you, Joe Cool. Haven't heard from you in a while. Let me start with you. Give me your final thoughts, man, on the way out.
Salute everybody. All I gotta say is Bud is playing chess. Spence is playing Hungry Hippos. Bud, just everybody know Bud is ready. No matter whenever the fight happen, Bud gonna do his thing. He not a duck. He the truth. He's the real boogeyman. And everybody be safe, man. And salute to everybody.
Salute, my guy, Joe Cool. Why you sound so much cleaner now, man? What you done switch phones or something? What the hell?
Yeah, I was at work. I had my Bluetooth in my ear.
Oh, okay,
I'm in the car now, so yeah, I'm on my way to the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Man, wish you could have got home. You sound like you was holding something on you. You like you ready to unload and you ain't get a chance. All right, well, next time, yeah, man.
Salute everybody, man.
All right. My guy AC, man. Final thoughts, man.
Well, my final thoughts is still going to piggyback off my original thoughts. Errol Spence said he's his own boss. He can fire his current company, give them guys over at BLK a call, make this fight happen without all the bullshit. People want to talk whatever they want to talk, but so far every fighter that's been signed to BLK or has a fight coming up on BLK has said it's all 100% legit. You got a guy like Broner who would definitely blow him up if they were shitty, because he did it to the zone. And you know what I'm saying? I don't think he would treat these guys any different. If Errol Spence really wants this fight, and I see him sitting around, not making any calls or trying to contact BLK to make something happen, then I'm gonna rock with what Homeboy just said, and he's looking for that Jaron Ennis fight, or he's gonna try to claim he's moving up to 154 to challenge, Charlo or somebody, but I just don't see that happening. So at the end of the day, I look at it like this still. Errol Spence can easily make a phone call, get this fight done on BLK, get a bag. Both fighters make a huge bag, 50-50 split. None of this dumb shit, none of it. And we got ourselves the mega fight. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Well, appreciate you, man, for putting that in there. Your final thoughts and for coming on through, man. We got a few people that done joined us back on the panel, man. I'm getting ready to wrap it up, so y'all gonna have to get y'all opening and y'all closing thoughts. So, Sean T, you was already on here, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and give your closing remarks, and then I'm gonna give TY a little bit more time, considering he just now talking for the first time. But go ahead, Sean T. Final thoughts.
All right. My apologies, man. My phone had died out. I had to let this bad boy build back up.
I thought you was ducking. I thought you was
no, never that.
He said you was gonna take the easy road.
You see how I came right back, right? You see how I came right back. Hey, man, listen.
You got those 3 belts.
Hey, here's the deal, man. This is my final little thing to say, man. First of all, Crawford was my main man at 140. You feel me? That's why I really know like the details of this because I was waiting for him to come to 147 to fight Errol. You see what I'm saying? When he came to 147, he didn't mention Errol. He mentioned Thurman. But to be fair, man, Errol wasn't mentioning Crawford. He was mentioning Thurman and Pacquiao as well. With that being said, man, I just wanted to see the fight, man. I'm a little upset, man, that things worked out the way that they did. I'm not against Crawford. I just didn't like that move. If Errol would have done it, I would have been through messing with him. I'm just keeping it 100. With that being said, man, I appreciate you for letting me come on and speak my piece, and peace and blessings to my people.
Of course, man. Salute to you, brother, man. Appreciate you for coming on through, man. Yes,
Yes,
sir. Let me go to TY. TY, man, you just coming up on the panel, man, but we giving our final thoughts, man. I guess opening and closing thoughts.
All right, bro. I'll be quick. What's going on, everybody?
What's going
man,
on?
What's up, man? What's up?
Man, I look at it like this. The way PBC has made fights in the welterweight division, the way they're doing Terrence Crawford is showing you they don't want to make this fight. Case in point, we look at the post-fight at antics. Remember back in the day when Keith and Danny had that little face-off and they was like, I ain't no cherry, and they had a little post-fight shit? They fought next. Remember when Errol came in the ring on Porter? He was like, I ain't really after the green belt or the yellow belt. Motherfucker was like, he was scared, but they fought. Remember Pacquiao came in the ring on Errol. Remember Danny Garcia came in the ring after Porter versus EJ. Now after Bud contract was up, it should have been some pre-negotiations with him and goddamn Al Heyman. And he should have had that motherfucker sit in front row and be like, look, if he win, you go in the ring and we're gonna start the promotion for this fight, and it's gonna happen in October. None of that shit. Every promoter works like that. Bob Arum had Loma sit in front row after Comey and Lopez. If they wanted to make that fight, that's the path they would have took. But did they take that path? Nope. So that's all I want to say though, bro.
Hey,
he was at the Porter fight and got up and broke out once he stopped Porter.
But see, he got up and broke out, and when Bud was at the fight, niggas surrounded Bud. They won't even let him walk up to the front.
Yeah, they're like it's EJ City.
They didn't want to announce Bud as a champion in the division.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Al Heyman would have had that man front row. He would have had let him walk in the ring, and they would have started the promotion right then and there.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, them dudes ain't never want no smoke, man. He wasn't a part of the list. Bud asked him, he ain't on that. I ain't on that list. Nah, you wasn't on the list. I bet he would. I bet he would.
Appreciate that be coming on, fellas. I'm gone. Peace.
All right, man. Appreciate you for coming on through, man. And last but not least, my guy, Bold and Understanders. And y'all be sure to subscribe to my guy, Bold and Understanders on YouTube, man. Drop some good content over there. But Bold, final thoughts, man. What's on your mind?
Hey, what was that? What was the guy named Detail? Something like that? Detail, you said Truth?
Yeah, Details the Truth, I think it was.
Yeah, I'm gonna clip the video, give him some shine on my page, man. He was definitely cooking, man, with that whole joint with the Boots Ennis and Errol Spence joint. But yeah, man, another great live and whatnot. It's good chopping it up with everybody. Even the Errol Spence fans that came on and whatnot, I gotta give them props because at least, these two guys, they didn't come on and duck the smoke like some of these guys in the chat that be sticking up for Errol Spence, but they got some slick shit to say and they never hop on the panel and whatnot. So I give Reggie and Sean T some props for hopping on and stuff like that, man.
Sure.
And like I said, man, another good video, King David, and definitely catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
For sure, man. Peace. Appreciate you for coming on through, man. And yeah, man, the Errol Spence fans that came on here, man, they holding their own, man. Dare I say it? I got respect for some of these fans. A little bit of respect. Hey, they came in there, man, and they jumped in the hot seat and they was taking all the pressure, man. And hey, look, man, I got respect for them guys, man. I don't agree with nothing they say, but I got a lot of respect for them, though. You know what I'm saying? For real.
Dude, I need to smoke a blunt with Reggie.
You see Reggie over here talking reckless over here? Hey, fellas, battery died. We won. Bud Business Duck Crawford. Man, if you don't
Man,
get your ass up on out of here with all that.
man, Reggie was on the live. Me and Reggie was on a live on Miss T channel the other night. He was on that same bullshit.
Yeah, these dudes go hard in the paint for they hero Errol Spence Jr., man. But you know, it is what it is. It makes it fun anyway. But you know what I'm saying? Hey man, I just want to thank everybody who was able to come through, man. The show sponsor, Truly Israel, man. Appreciate you for all you were able to do tonight, man. Everybody who hopped on the panel, AC, Bold, who else we had in here? Sean T, Reggie, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate all y'all guys for hopping on. All my guys in the chat. Some of the guys I ain't get the shout out in the chat. Jamal Neezy, appreciate you, fam. Demetrius Ross, Donnie Pruitt, you know what I'm saying? Some of my day one supporters and subscribers, man. Napoleon Armstrong, you know what I'm saying? Who else we got? I seen one of my day ones, G Parker in the building. Salute to you, G, man. You ain't hop on the panel in a while, G. Next time I see you on here, I'm gonna call ya. You gonna have to hop on the panel next time I see you, G Parker, if you still listening. Woo 36, Donald Bell. You know what I'm saying? Who else we got on here, man? I ain't gonna go all the way through it because it's a lot of y'all that was in here tonight. Fresh Press 402. You know what I'm saying? Titan Burke. You know what I'm saying? D-Ray Promotions. Gotta shout out my dog D-Ray Promotions. Salute to you, fam, for coming on through. GK Black also in the building, man. Salute to you, GK, for coming on through. Titan Burke, LB. Who else we got on here, man? Dang. Poncho P, Ill Minds, Revola. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Ill Minds. I'm gonna just stick with Ill Minds. Ill Minds. Appreciate you, fam, for coming on through, man. Modern King Boxing. See, I would have felt bad if I didn't shout my guy Modern King Boxing out. And y'all be sure to subscribe to my guy Modern King Boxing on YouTube, man. Appreciate you for coming on through and all the support that you show the channel, man. I appreciate that, fam. Osreal the Great, you know what I'm saying? Who else we got? Man? Shoot. It Don't Matter was up in here today. Chief Wildfire was in here today. Hey, man, I appreciate all y'all for coming on through, man. If anybody is new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit the like button on your way out. But I appreciate y'all for coming on through, man. And until next time, man, peace.
When he get a belt, you want to go over there. Keith Thurman want to go over there, and now y'all want to say, "Oh, I ain't fought nobody," but I got a belt now, so okay. Sean Porter got a belt too. So now
Sean Porter got a belt too. Sean Porter. So why want I go to Easy Road and not Sean Porter out? So why want I go to Easy Road and not Sean Porter out?
So why want I go to Easy Road and not Sean Porter out? So why want I go to Easy Road and not Sean Porter out?
Who mans is this? Get him the fuck out of here.